Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me, as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
Tuesday. Stupid Tuesday. We got to get in there. And we welcome you to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Everyone all right after what I'm going to call the douching?
We really got nothing. I saw certain parts of the Twin Cities got pretty soaked.
Nothing, huh?
Nothing.
What a prick.
My daughter sent me a video. She decided at the exact wrong time to go for a walk.
Oh, God.
And she said a couple different times. I mean, it was like she was walking through a pool. It was crazy.
My wife, she got caught in the douching. Yeah, okay, so some folks got smashed into oblivion, others did not. I know my neighborhood went through one hell of a rinse cycle yesterday afternoon. It was really something to see. It was like my home, Cubby. You've been there. It was like it was somehow a rolling through the touchless car wash.
Yeah, we just got sprinkles and a little bit of thunder. That was it.
Nothing where I'm at either. Just clouded up a couple times. I gave the dog some of those weed gummies to try to chill him out because he hates the thunder. Nothing happened.
2 for Dana, 1 for the dog.
Exactly.
3 for Dana, none for the dog.
You really gave your dog dope?
Yeah, he shivers and is terrified of thunder and lightning.
Yeah, my mom, I don't remember the last time she went to a 4th of July celebration because her dog freaks out. I don't think she gives him any drugs or anything, but maybe I just don't know that information.
Don't you know a guy, Josh, whose dog recently about died from eating weed gummies?
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, a buddy of mine, he decided to have a weed gummy. He's laying in bed in the dark, having trouble sleeping. He went to take one, and he must have dropped one. And the next day, they thought their poor dog was dying. They had no idea, just lethargic. She couldn't barely pick her head up. They rushed her to the emergency vet thinking, well, this is it. Turns out the dog was just stoned to beat the band.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
Just for clarification, these are from the vet that are made for dogs. And
why are you taking those? It's actual weed in there?
No, it's like CBD or something like that. Yeah, no, it's not THC or anything.
That story fell apart.
Yeah, the story has changed quite a bit.
All right, fine. Me and Charlie, when I get home, we're going to roll a fat joint and we're going to get stoned off our asses.
If you're going to give your dog drugs, yeah, do it the old-fashioned way.
Why am I cheaping out on the poor guy?
Oh, man. Yeah, it was something in my neighborhood. So we hope everyone came away from yesterday in one piece. In one friggin', our gal Ashley's still feeling a little funny, so she ain't gonna make it in today. So it's just us dudes.
Dude show.
I suppose we could take advantage of all this sausage that we've got going and just dial it back and talk bro things. What do I have here? Guy code, bro code, your man card, all that stuff. Someone bothered to go through all the guy code that's out there. God knows, what that involves. And they tried to weigh what's really important. They've drawn up the, quote, underrated bro code. The most underrated bro code. How they measured this out, I have no clue, and it doesn't really matter. So, here you go. Boys, the most underrated guy code or bro code is this. And feel free to chime in, 651-989-9393, if we're missing anything. But you take all the bro code, this is the stuff that is the most underrated. Maybe pay a little more attention to this, is what they're saying.
What do you think of this one? Because there's a little bit of a bro code drama going on in my house.
Oh, wow, cool.
My house is the hangout spot for all the young men in the neighborhood, and that sounded more dirty than I meant it to.
What the hell is going on?
My son's a middle schooler, and all the middle school boys like to hang out at our house.
Sure.
Well, one of them just started dating the ex-girlfriend of another.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
So they're trying to navigate this. And when I was their age, that was a big deal. I mean, that was something you just didn't do. Despite the fact that everybody's dating each other, for whatever reason, it was kind of a big deal. So they're kind of going through that. I got myself a little involved with a couple of jokes, but outside of that, I'm just kind of letting them do their thing, reminding them that, hey, you know what? We don't own women, aside from, so she's free to date who she wants, first and foremost.
Yeah.
But, I can tell amongst their friend group, they're trying to figure out exactly if this is okay or not. A lot of jokes going back and forth.
That comes into play here, Josh. It does in this report on underrated bro code. What do I think of that? I've always thought of the ex-girlfriend, ex-wife thing. I've always thought of it as kind of the wild, wild west.
That's how I think of it now. And
even when I was a kid, I didn't.
It was never a scandalous thing for you guys?
No, especially when we were junior high kids. There was always that kind of carousel of I'm dating this one, but now we broke up and she's with my buddy. That really wasn't a thing for us.
Well, because a lot of times in middle school, it seems like they're dating longer now, just, being around these folks. But a lot of times, when we were kids, like, it was a weekend thing. This person's dating somebody for a day and a half. And
not a lot of it lasted very long, right. So back then, I think because of that specifically, because you might have only dated a 7th grade kid, whatever, you only dated a gal for 2 weeks, the idea that a few days after the breakup, she went off to date one of your bros, we really didn't think much of it. Generally speaking, I still don't get too ruffled by the idea of, oh my God, she was dating him for 6 months and now she's with her friend. Doesn't bother me. Like I said, wild, wild west. I'm all right with all that stuff. I've told the story before. One of my buddies was dating this scorching hot blonde years ago, and they broke up, and we're all sitting at the bar, and somebody said, did you hear Donnie broke up with that scorching hot blonde? And we said, oh, no kidding. There was a pause, and then one of us, it wasn't me, said, somebody should get on that. We really have never had that. Hell, I've had one of my best friends, well, maybe I won't even say that. I won't even say that out loud.
I could see how this would suck. Let's say you just really wanted to get away from your significant other, whether that's a longtime, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, and all of a sudden they're with one of your close friends who you see all the time and you just can't escape them. That would suck.
Still there.
I could see the frustration there. Like, dude, I'm trying to get away from this person, and all of a sudden they're around constantly again.
Because they're dating your bro.
Yeah.
Sure, that might be something I'd have a problem with. Yeah, I've been trying to get away from this person, and now she's coming into my neighborhood bar all over again because she's dating one of my bros.
I always thought this one was funny from Adam Doesn't Piss Me Off Anymore, Jesus. Where I'm from, he said, you don't lose your girlfriend, you lose your turn.
Exactly. I love that slogan. The first time I ever heard that slogan, it was connected to Carlstead, Minnesota. They said in Carlstead, you don't lose your wife, you just lose your turn.
When I got divorced, I fully expected one guy I knew or, someone I knew, whether it be a friend of mine or a Jason friend, a friend of a friend, to make a run at my ex-wife, and I wouldn't have cared. Go for it.
Well, thank you, because Nick and I both did.
So did anyone make a run at her?
No, as far as I know, at least. Sure, somebody probably shot their shot and it didn't work out, but, good on them for trying.
But, there are, for God's sake, how many news stories or stupid news stories do we have on a weekly basis around here where the core of the problem is not being able to get over a breakup, jealous that your ex has gone off, mad at your friend for dating your ex. There are a lot of people who are very sensitive to this kind of thing. I'm just not one of them. One of my favorite stories ever, my wife, her friend, one of her best friends, she's one of those who kind of lumps every relationship, they're all equal in her mind. And what I mean by that is someone you dated in 7th grade is somehow as significant as someone you dated when you were 39 years old or someone you married. So the scenario was this. My wife and this gal were at a bar, and in walks my wife's friends, the gal that she was standing with. Let's call her Missy. My wife and Missy are standing in the bar. In walks a dude that Missy dated in 8th grade. This is just a few years ago. 8th grade. And Missy says to my wife, "Oh, God, there's Donnie." And my wife said, "Yeah, so?" And Missy says, "We dated." Yeah, in 8th friggin' grade. And still, in this gal's mind, I love her very much. I love Missy. She's just got this thing. There's still some amount of awkwardness there for her, even though 35 years has gone. I don't understand that.
Yeah, you held hands at the roller rink back in middle school.
What the hell? How can that still make you feel anything? Real? But all right,
I had a buddy of mine, kind of somewhat similar to that. I found out my wife works with my 6th grade girlfriend, and by 6th grade girlfriend, again, we started dating on a Friday. By Sunday, it was over with.
Right.
It was a phone call on Sunday. Yeah, things just aren't working out. And I have a buddy of mine's like, "Oh man, is that really weird that you were?" I'm like, "Why would that be weird? We dated for 3 days." In 1986.
He said, your buddy said this to you.
Yeah, like he thought, "Oh man, that's got to be so."
No.
awkward. Like this wasn't like a girl that I cheated on with my wife or that right before my wife. I haven't seen her in over 30 years.
I can't understand
Almost 40 years.
I can't understand it. And it's just wild to me that some folks... All right. We were talking about the most underrated bro code. So again, this is the stuff, according to this report, that maybe you should pay a little closer attention to. It's been overlooked, I guess. All right. And again, feel free to text in if you got any ideas, bros. If you call your bros,
Hey, bros.
to help you move, you are required to provide food and or booze. Okay, right.
Yeah, that's common.
Yeah, it's standard.
That's very, very standard. So I don't know why it made the list of underrated, because everybody knows that one. But don't call me anymore to help you move. I just had this conversation with someone. We're not 24 anymore. I'm not coming over to carry your couches. I'm not coming over to carry your mattresses. Call a friggin' moving company. Once you get into I think once you can financially handle it, F that moving party. That's for high school and college kids.
Agreed.
It's also the worst one is when you go over, and I think you had this exact scenario. I think this was you, where you go to a friend's house and they're like, "Hey, sweet, since you're here, will you help me put in this fence?" Just like a huge project that you know they were prepared for.
I've been scammed like that before.
Oh, I have too. I went to a friend's house and he was having a party and he didn't tell any of us we'd be laying a patio that day.
No.
No one knew. It wasn't like one guy knew and he forgot to tell a couple people. Absolutely no one.
I've known a couple of those. Let's cut to the chase, Cubby. I've known a couple of those liars, is what they are, and I didn't enjoy it at all. Hell, back to the moving thing. I'll put it this way: my 80-some-year-old mother wants to move again, right? And she's barely able to cross the room, just for the record. She wants to move. Someone asked me if I'd help her, and I said absolutely not.
At our age,
call a friggin' moving. No, I'm not helping anyone move.
At our age, it's maybe we'll contribute a couple of bucks or something.
Right. Okay. Underrated bro code. If you did not buy it, never take the last one. That's not bro code. That's something your mother told you when you were 11. Right?
Yeah, I agree. That's just kind of standard as well. Same with the moving and providing pizza and beer.
Although, what do you think of this? Like here's the difference between my oldest and youngest. My oldest son, we both love the same kind of chip, right? And he would leave maybe 2. We'd get a new bag. He'd leave 2 for me. 2 chips.
Yeah.
But my youngest, he'll just eat the whole thing. He doesn't care. So I don't know which is worse. Which is worse?
I don't know. That's just selfish kids. You know what I mean? I don't know. which is worse? Probably just the two, because after you have two of those chips, you build up a taste for them, and then they're suddenly gone.
Wolfpack softball, Jesus. I've been in the same situation. Being invited to a cabin, you get there, and they say, "Can you guess, Nick?"
Oh,
No.
You got it, Dana.
Oh, put the dock in.
Can you help me put in the dock?
Oh, I've done that 1,000 times, but we always get a nice heads up on that one at least. Yeah, you don't. Just like the building a fence or laying down a patio, you give your friends a heads up on that. You don't spring that on them unless you're a douchebag. Now, I don't necessarily agree with all of these underrated guy code rules. Here's one that says, just show up when called upon. It's like throwing up a bat signal. Okay, again, maybe that applies to 22-year-olds, but not anymore for me. You don't ask any questions, you just show up. F that. What does this say? Yeah, check this out. If your bro calls you in the middle of the night and says, hey, are you up for a coffee? You just say, where do we meet? No further questions. A coffee? Sorry, but I have questions.
Yeah, I think the first question I have is, when did you start drinking coffee?
What makes you think I would ever sit down and have a cup of coffee with anybody? This isn't an episode of Seinfeld. This is the real world.
I don't, outside of like a first date, I've never met someone for coffee.
No, that's something they do in the movies. My brother told me not that long ago. He says, hey, remember that gal from school? And I said, sure. And he said, the other day she and I met for coffee. And I said, who is this? What are you talking about? You met? People actually do that?
I wouldn't even get coffee if I went. I'd feel a little awkward on that.
Now, if a buddy says, I'll meet you for a beer, I still might have a question. I mean...
Like, oh no, what happened?
Yeah, how badly do we need each other that we're supposed to just spring out of our chairs and meet with no questions asked? That's a little dramatic to me. But it's just guy code.
These are younger man's games.
Some of it is. Never complain about the brand of beer if it's free. I don't know if I'm with that one either.
God, there's some bad beer.
Yeah, I think if I sit down at my buddy's place and he says, you want a Steve Weiser? And I say yes, and he hands me something really stupid, I'm going to say something about it, even if it's free.
Yeah, you've criticized a barbecue before because of the food they prepared.
Have I?
Yeah, because was it a veggie burger?
Oh, no.
Or a turkey burger? I can't remember.
It was some kind of organic brat or...
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Oh, it was... I went after the guy.
Like a plant-based brat or something like that?
This was quite a few years ago before that stuff was everywhere. I was invited over for a barbecue. I walk in. The host and I are jaw-jacking. We're old buddies. He hands me a real beer. And then he says, well, I better go check those brats. So I follow him over to the grill. He cracks the lid on the grill, and they were green. And I said, I think those sumbitches went bad. And he said, no, you don't understand. This is an organic, plant-based seaweed and brown rice bratwurst or something. And I said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. I'm not eating any of that.
Yeah, you can keep those on the grill.
Underrated guy code. This one's a deep one, Josh. What does it say here? The strength of your character is measured by who you can lift up, not by who you can put down. Real men aren't D-bags. As deep and corny as that is, I'll go along with that.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's just a life thing, not just a bro code thing.
I get a little tired of, it seems like there are some people, when you see them, the entire conversation is just, I hate this person, I hate that person, this sucks and that sucks, and I hate this person. I get a little worn out on that. So,
especially if that's their everyday occurrence.
That is what I'm talking about. And yeah, just have something to say. I mean, it's okay. I'll put up with some bashing of the, but have something in there somewhere that isn't just, I hate. Some of this stuff is really tired. What we're going through here is an underrated guy code, according to a recent report. Of all the guy code out there, this is the stuff that maybe was overlooked. It's underrated. Yeah, the nod. Yeah, the urinal. We don't need to go through that again. We are required, Josh, to talk our bros down from crazy.
I try and do that.
Sometimes you just got to let them find out for themselves, though.
Oh, yeah, it depends on the situation, right. I mean, you probably know them well enough to know which is going to work better.
Yeah.
Having them fail miserably on their own, or maybe they just need a warning.
I may have talked you down from crazy.
I think so. Yeah, you've helped me in a lot of situations.
But
I hope I've returned the favor at least once over the years.
Of course you have, you bastard. But there's a limit, I think.
For someone that needs it all the time? Or
Well,
what do you mean?
That wasn't what I was thinking, but good point. For someone that needs it all the time, there's only so much help a friend can give you.
You might need a pro at that point.
You might need a professional. I'm talking about the level, the intensity of the crazy. The intensity of the crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we've had life talks helping each other out, it's always been very even keel. It's just a casual, low-key conversation. If a friend of mine's in my face or on the phone raging, that's what I might say, look, I'm not built for this. Goodbye. Here we go. Do not, for any reason in the world, try to steal your friend's girlfriend, wife, or ex. See, I don't believe in that. I say it's the Wild West.
Stealing, it seems different, certainly.
I didn't focus on the word steal.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like something you do to a person you care about.
Oh, yeah, don't steal. But once there's a breakup, hey, man, fair game.
Go for it.
She was just going to the store. I thought you guys had broke up. If you jump in that quick, there could be an issue, too. Oh, I saw her get in the car and leave. I assumed that was it.
So there's an amount of time that needs to go by.
Yeah, I don't know how long that would be necessarily, but probably shouldn't overlap.
All right. What else? Only talk. I'll get there. Only trash talk friends to their faces. Yeah, right. We're not angels.
It happens.
I'm not perfect. Yeah, it happens. Only trash talk friends to their faces. Nobody does that. And then the final here. Do not expect to be rewarded for following guy code. Yeah, some guys want a cookie for everything they do. Do not reward anyone for following guy code. And then, I don't know why they saved this for last. Do not acknowledge the existence of anything called guy code. But what the hell have we been doing here the last?
No, we were so tricked.
Dang it.
That's against guy code. A lot of people are texting in, hey, if you borrow our tools, our vehicle, our trailer, something like that, returning it in the same position and actually just returning it would be nice. I don't know, somehow I've lost tape measures over the years.
Tape measures,
I don't know if I have somebody eating those.
Dude,
or
check between your mattress and your box spring.
Oh, is that where it is?
Yeah, you probably. For God's sake. Bro code. Hey, box tossing Jesus texted in to say, morning, bitches.
That's us.
And Josh, Ashley, Nick, and Dana. Oh, so he's calling everybody else out.
Yeah.
This guy's got balls right here.
Yeah, he does.
Calling everybody else out for being bitches is what box tossing Jesus is doing. All right, let me check my text messages here. See what our listeners are saying about bro code. What does this say? Okay, interesting. Florida Hockey Jesus says his best bro has access to his phone in case he dies. This bro will erase everything.
Yeah,
He calls
smart.
him a tactical unicorn? I don't know. Is that some kind of a thing that I'm missing? What does that mean to be a tactical? Anyway, his best bro has access to his phone in case he dies. He can erase everything.
It's not a bad idea.
Decent stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Florida Hockey Jesus I mentioned. He says the cup will be claimed tonight by the Florida Panthers.
I think he's right there.
Yeah, I think most of us would. Slip Disc Jesus says, if you put your ex-girlfriend at the end of a driveway, it's fair game. It doesn't need to be a free sign on it. Oh, you dick.
Like lawn chairs?
Bringing up that episode from a couple months ago where some lowlife in my neighborhood stole all my bar stools that were supposed to be sold.
Night shift nurse Jesus said, bro code, don't borrow or lend $20 to spot a bro for lunch. Buy him the lunch, and then he can get the beer on game night.
Okay, sure. Little tit for tat. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, that's kind of how I am. I figure if you're going to give somebody, some money, I just don't count on it coming back. So there's no frustration.
Man. Da bomb Jesus. How about this one? As far as bro code goes, when your best friend girl calls to see if he's with you. Okay? Is Donnie with you? Right? You know he's with some other girl. It's bro code to cover for him. Yeah, I think it is. As bad as what Donnie's up to, I think if you're his bro, you cover for him. Josh, I could see you having a little trouble with that. Lying to Donnie's girlfriend. When she calls you and says, is Donnie with you? You say yes, even though you know he's off with a side piece.
Is Donnie with me? That's the question you just proposed? Donnie, you say?
Yeah,
Did Donnie say he was with me?
Yeah. Who said he was with me? And then you turn it into you bring up a long story, hoping that by the time you're done with the story, Donnie returns, yeah. And then you can say, yes, he is with me. Here, hand the phone to Donnie. Well, see, here's the thing is, man, nowadays a lot of us can't even get away with that because of our cell phones are tracked, right? Not only by the government, of course, but, right?
Sure, you share your location.
You share your location.
Yeah.
A lot of folks do that, so your significant other knows where you are at all times. I was accused not that long ago of getting a BJ in Golden Valley.
Oh, I remember that,
Yeah.
Weren't you just stopping off at a gas station or something?
I wasn't stopping off anywhere.
Well, if you go to the right gas station, that can happen.
I gotta say, you could do both at once.
I wasn't stopping off anywhere, but my wife and I have that gimmick. What did you call it again?
Share your location?
Sharing your location. So, but here's the fun part is, I don't know, maybe I dropped my cellular telephone not that long ago, and when the wife looks me up to see where I'm at, it's always wrong. There's a glitch. And a handful of days ago, I don't know where I was. I was nowhere near Golden Valley, but my location thing said I was in Golden Valley and stationary somewhere for quite a while. And so when I got home, she said, what, did you stop off in Golden Valley for a BJ? I said, well, Christ, no, but if you got an address.
Yeah. If you're going to accuse me of it, I might as well have just gone ahead and done it.
Stop off in Golden Valley for a BJ, she says. All right. We might as well get going again. We hope the best for our gal Ashley, who's, again, not feeling 100%. Hell, maybe we'll see her tomorrow, and we appreciate the well wishes that you're sending in for her. Before you know it, we'll be back again with the stupid news here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy. I'm cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and T-shirts that give back. One purchased equals one donated. Now go to bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN at checkout.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah. 651-989-9393 is our text number. If you ever want to get a hold of us, say something cute, funny, fresh, like Trash Trucker Jesus, who texted in to say, "Good morning, sitters of the Cuck chair." You'd find a comfortable spot in that Cuck chair, wouldn't you, Josh?
Heck yeah, I had my name on it and everything. One of those director's chairs.
Yeah. Because you just sit there and you watch, don't you? You friggin' cuck.
I love that so much.
I know.
Way more than any guy should.
Obviously you do. Yeah, you love it.
I don't know what it is about that word and about everything about it. It just cracks me up.
In any situation, you're the cuck guy in town.
I am a cuck in a lot of situations. I mean, not the official one yet, but I'd imagine a few more years of marriage and I'll be fine with that. But like, I used to have a video game system. And I never really played, so like if people came over and they wanted to play, I'd just watch them play. They'd be like, "Hey, you want to jump in on this?" I'm like, "Nah, I'll just kind of watch what you got going on." So I am a cuck.
You were a cuck.
You go ahead. You abuse my video game system, but I want to watch.
A Guitar Hero cuck is what you were.
I enjoy other people's. They're fun. I don't really like to get involved in that.
You were a cuck before that was like a common term.
I know. It's weird how much I find that hilarious. It's weird how much I love people saying that to me.
Yeah. You know what else we covered a little earlier? We were talking bro code. No Ashley today, so it's just us dudes. So we thought we'd blast through some bro code. What we had specifically was underrated rules in not go code, underrated rules in guy code or bro code. Now, what do you think of this one? This was sent in to me. And, again, I think I would file this under bro code, but only if you're a younger person. And here's what it says. If your bro is passing out at the bar, do not keep drinking for another 2 hours with them unconscious in the corner. You get them home. Now, I do remember when we were in our 20s, we had that idea. That was a thing. We had a few buddies who would fall asleep. I mean, I suppose it wasn't every time. Sometimes a buddy would put his head down at the bar and fall smooth asleep, and we'd just let him stay there. Other times, maybe if they were getting a little squirrely, we'd get them out of the bar. But okay, in your 20s, I would follow this. If your bro passes out at the bar, you get him out of there. You don't let him sit there while you guys are partying. But at my age now, I say, look, you're a grown man. You should be able to handle this.
Yep.
If you pass out or become just a disgusting drunk at the bar, that's your problem. Maybe you should learn to drink a little more
responsibly.
Sure. And not fall out like a punk, That's where I'd go as an older person, as a younger person. Sure, I would.
And maybe they just need the sleep. And you're not supposed to wake a sleeping person.
Mm-mm.
You're just being polite. And that's coming from a cucklord.
The sitter of the cuck chair.
Yeah, nowadays, if one of my buddies is just at the bar, I mean, that's your problem. Come on already.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go with today's stupid news report. Again, with the young people and the selfies and the social media, you don't need a grand setup for this one because you're already familiar with this nonsense. A 19-year-old kid in godless New York, a kid by the name of Cody. He got his little punk ass arrested late Friday night, early Saturday morning kind of a thing, after he broke into a former correctional facility, so some old prison in town that had been shut down for a stretch of time. He broke in to the joint and got himself arrested. The kid crawled through a hole in the perimeter fence. After that, he got into the actual building itself. But then, once he got to wandering around the joint, he somehow effed up and trapped himself in one of the prison cells. He wet his little pants. He panicked. He had to up and call the police for help.
That's so awesome.
I'm in jail and I'm not supposed to be here.
I mentioned it before. There's more and more evidence every day the cops invented social media.
Right.
They came up with this whole thing for idiots to pwn themselves, just like this guy.
All right, on a side note, I hate to sidetrack us, but our listening audience is always so funny, and they send in such great text messages that sometimes we have to, hit the brakes and veer back to the brother and sisterhood. On the subject of Josh being the cuck king here in town. He loves the word. He loves the joke. Any conversation about being a cuck, and he's in stitches. This is a great idea by Sits on Babies' Sheezes. Next Friday is our Independence Day boat party, our Independence Day booze cruise. And by the way, keep listening for your chance to win a spot on the boat. You, Josh, the cuck king, you deserve, according to Sits on Babies' Sheezes, a cuck throne to be set up on the boat for our boat party. So
just watch as people do their thing.
You will sit and watch everything that happens. You're not going to be standing like you normally are. You often stand only about 10 or 12 steps from the entrance of the boat and talk to every son of a bitch that crosses your path. This time, we're putting you in a cuck throne so you can sit and observe it all like a true cuck would.
And, we got food on that thing, right? So
we'll bring you some food.
Yeah, but then other people eat it right in front of you.
Yeah, you don't get any food.
Like, I'll have a drink there, and somebody just comes up and drinks it, and, we make eye contact the whole time.
Dude, couples that go on the boat, couples that are not afraid of public displays of affection will make out in front of Josh while he sits in the cuck chair. You'll watch us drink. You'll watch us eat. You'll watch us do everything. Please tell me one of us has some kind of a stupid chair that we can bring on the boat.
I wonder if we might have something that would work.
That is the best idea I've heard all day. Sits on Baby Sheezes. We are going to make this happen.
We have to.
Fun size she's going to provide the cupcakes.
There's going to be cuck cakes.
Yeah. And I can't have one.
No.
You're going to watch us eat cuck cakes.
Yeah, I wouldn't derive any pleasure from eating it myself.
well, Christ.
You eat it right in front of me.
We've got a cuck throne right there. Look at that right there. We've got the 93.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
that's perfect.
Yeah, that would work great.
It's like a director's chair, like you talked about earlier about the hotel scenario.
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect.
Making Maps Jesus has texted in to say, I'm your cuckleberry. We have these really, I don't know. I mean, I guess they're all right. They're all right looking. That's what I define them as. All right looking 93X. What did you call them?
Director's chairs.
Director's chairs. It's perfect. It's got our friggin' stupid radio station logo on it. That I'm looking right now at Cubby's cuck chair, cuck throne that will be set up on the boat. This is going to be a thing. This is going to be a thing.
I'm looking on Amazon for some type of crown you can wear as well, Josh.
I'll just go to Burger King.
Oh, there you go. That's perfect.
Burger Cuck.
Bring a crown because you're the cuck king. Who is this? Listeners are sending in. They're singing the song. The Cuck Boat making another run. The Cuck Boat. Cubby will watch us all having fun. Make out in front of Cubby, eat cupcakes, and drink your beer. The Cuck
Boat.
What a great idea.
I just Googled or I Amazoned crowns, and some crowns popped up. They look kind of nice, but there's also tiaras. I think a tiara might be more fitting for the Cuck King.
You got to wear a tiara. All right.
I don't want to wear a tiara.
This is going to be, okay, just wear a regular, get a crown from Burger King. This is going to add so much fun. If I see you get out of that cuck throne.
I got to sit there the whole time?
You got to sit there the whole time.
And it's in the corner, not the middle. You got to sit in the corner.
You want a cuck? Now's your chance.
You think this is so funny, huh?
I did until I realized I had to wear a tiara and sit the whole time.
You can get up and take a piss once in a while, but you are the Cuck King. You will sit in your cuck throne. We'll bring you your pops. You like to drink soda pop?
Yeah, that's very kind of you.
All right. Raise your hand if you have no idea where we are in our first stupid news story. I don't remember.
No.
So I'll start it all over.
He crawled in. He gets stuck in the jail cell, and he's calling the cops to get out.
Young guy went to jail. A young guy was arrested. 19-year-old kid in New York. He broke into a retired prison. What should I call it, Josh? Empty prison. A former correctional facility.
That's the way to put it.
There you go. He went into the joint, and he got himself trapped in one of the prison cells. Wet his pants, called the cops. Okay.
To go back to the text.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
I know. But this is a question we need answered from Steelers fan Jesus. On the Cuck boat, will there be cocktails? Yeah, there'll be plenty of cocktails.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. All right. So there's this kid. He's trapped in a jail cell at a former correctional facility. He calls the cops. The cops show up. They got him out of there, and then they arrested him for criminal trespassing. And here's what you very likely already guessed. The kid told the cops that he just wanted to get into the old prison so he could, go ahead.
Take a selfie.
So he could take some selfies for social media. He knew better. He did. He knew better. But, like a lot of young people, they figure if you're not trying like hell every day to be the hot new thing on social media, then you're just wasting time.
That's a different mindset, isn't it?
All right. Any other Cuck-related texts we need to get to now on the idea that Josh, the Cuck King, will be sitting in a Cuck throne next Friday night on our Independence Day booze cruise. Let's see
Medical
here.
device Jesus is going to bring a gi so I could go as Cuck Norris if I want to. I'll have to learn some karate.
whatever we want to dress as Cuck Norris, that's fine.
There are a number of Cuck t-shirts on Amazon. One that says, "Should I bring my Cuck chair out for this?" Another that says Cuck Boy on it.
Is it really a Cuck chair?
Cuck Boy.
Yeah. So
or just any chair so you can watch?
This is going to be wonderful.
One that says Cuckold, just here to watch. That's what the t-shirt says.
Yeah,
I would never wear that on public except for the boat.
What's the word? It says what?
Just here to watch.
No, the first part.
Oh, cuckold.
Cuckold. Oh, that's
the full term.
Word.
Yeah. Just here to watch.
Buy that. Go ahead and buy that. Cut the sleeves off.
I was making it extra small, too, so it's nice and tight on Josh.
Oh, I don't want that.
I know you don't.
People are texting in, cuck-a-doodle-doo, a cuckoo clock. It's going to be fabulous. Fabulous. All right. By the way, back to prison, jail, whatever. Me and a couple of bros were just talking jail and prison stories a night or two ago. Only one of the three of us had actually been in jail or prison, and that one guy certainly wasn't me. More or less the stories we were talking about were people that we knew who spent some time in the Stony Lonesome and their experiences, how they handled it. Some handled it well, some not so well, some fell somewheres in between. The best time anyone has ever had in prison, if you ask me, was a high school pal of mine who did a stretch of time, and he made the most of it by becoming the prison ping pong champion. And I'm always so proud to tell that story.
That is very cool.
That one of my best pals from high school was able to turn something bad into something so magical. Went to prison, but became the prison ping pong. This guy, one of the most laid-back, friendly, funny individuals that I've ever known. There's simply no situation that would rattle him. And that's how he found a way to excel somehow while incarcerated. He's the type of guy where even Josh, on the day before that prison ping pong championship, if a group of inmates approached him and said, hey, man, we put a lot of money on you, so you better win this tournament or we're going to stomp your effing guts out, he would just shrug and say, well, guess I better go practice. Thanks for betting on me. Chunk. That was his nickname back in the day, Chunk. And it had nothing to do with that stupid movie.
Not even going to say the name.
It wasn't a stupid movie.
It was a great movie.
Never saw it. So it must be stupid.
That is your definition. If you've never seen something, it must suck.
It must suck.
Wireless Real Estate Jesus said, this is not the morning show to throw the hams on the radio in the kitchen while making the kids breakfast. Headphones only day.
Daddy, what's a cuck?
Yeah, I suppose that the kids don't know what a cuck is, so they're just going to ask you relentlessly. I think that's
Probably,
that's what he means. Sorry, Brett. If it wasn't for our daily stupid news conversations, I would have never known what a cicada is.
Cicada?
A cicada? See, I don't even know how to say it. And if you don't know, a cicada is some style of flying insect bastard that craps in your hair if it gets the chance. And I guess if there's one cicada in your neighborhood, you can count on about 10 billion more to follow.
Oh, yeah.
I first learned about these things a few years ago. They generally hang out south and east of here. What you were playing right there was the sound of a cicada?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where I'm going with this, some unlucky prick in Ohio lost control of his effing motor vehicle, went flying off the road and smashed into a telephone pole because a cicada flew into his car and attacked him.
I have a friend who he crashed his vehicle because a bumblebee flew around the inside.
I get it. I get it. I mean,
he said it was the size of a fist. Well, every time he tells a story, it gets bigger.
Yeah.
But this, he said it just came out of nowhere, freaked him out, and he hit a stoplight.
Yeah, I get it. Maybe not a bumblebee, but any other kind of bee. I'm going to physically react, at least for just a second, because I hate those friggin' things. Now, luckily, this guy didn't get hurt, the guy who was attacked by a cicada, but he was effing pissed. I saw a picture of the poor guy's car. It was a mess. The car was laid out on its side, for cripe's sake, all because of a damn bug.
Cicadas, Nick, Big Tobacco Jesus brings this up. Remember, Ashley thought that was the sound the sun made, which I totally understand because as a kid, anytime it was super hot out, that was the sound.
I always thought it was power lines.
Oh, sure. I could see that, too.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought it was, too. Yes, I do recall when Ashley thought that the sound of a cicada was the sound of the sun.
Yeah, hot sun.
The sun emitting sound from millions miles away.
We lived in a townhouse, and it was, I think, the second building that was built there. And across the street, it was just unmowed lawn, right? It was just kind of wild. And we had so many cicadas, it was outrageous.
Here in Minnesota?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well, you've heard them.
I have?
Didn't you just say you thought it was power lines as well?
Oh, but I thought they really were power lines.
Oh, no, it's cicadas.
Oh.
I mean, you could hear power. I lived under some power lines, which might explain a lot. And you could hear those, too, at times, at night.
I didn't know we had cicadas around here. You said there were some across the street. Now, local cops in Ohio, where this happened, have gone ahead and said that drivers should drive with their windows up for the next several weeks. I mean, that's incredible. Several weeks. Ohio's just crawling with these stupid things. But this is funny. According to a crash report, the stupid cicada flew into this guy's motor vehicle, in through the driver's side window, and it startled him. I'm just picturing that, and that's very funny to me. Ah! And he lost control of his vehicle and crashed. That's embarrassing.
Dana, you're the jumpiest person I've ever met.
Yeah.
I could see this happening to you.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Now, that's coming from the same guy whose reflection scared him in the year 2020. We couldn't turn on any lights in this building. Everything had to be as dark as possible. Everybody's trying to save money during the pandemic. And I came around a corner once, a little too hot, and all the doors here have windows to the side. And just the little bit of ambient light from my phone, I was checking my phone, freaked me out, and I thought I was about to run into a person, but it was myself. I jumped at my own reflection. That's tough to get over, by the way.
Bugs and insects, we were talking about bumblebees. One time during a high school football game, we're at the line of scrimmage, and a bumblebee landed kind of right on my cheek by my chin strap, and I could feel it walking up my face. And I said, I'm not going to jump offside, because how do I explain that to the guys? There was a bee on me, So we wait. I wait. I just tough it out. It's creepy. It feels disgusting walking up my face. Ball gets snapped. Bee stings me. It hurt so bad, I had to get taken out of the game. So I don't know what was worse, if I just would have brushed it off of me and jumped offside and got the 5-yard penalty, or let it sting me and then, guys, I got stung by a bee. I got it. Johnny, pop in here for me.
Tough spot.
Yeah, it always hurts more than I remember.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm stung. My uncle, big tough guy in his own mind, and a little bit in real life. He was not afraid of anything if you ask him, and he always tried to be the toughest guy in the room. But when a bee was around, he was a little kid running away from that thing.
Screaming and crying.
Oh, man, I've never met somebody so terrified of bees as him.
Now, there's also a fun park summers there in Ohio, a joint called Kings Island, and the folks who run that joint are telling everyone who comes through the gate to keep their yap shut when on the roller coaster rides and whatnot, or else cicadas will end up going right down your throat and into your windpipe.
Oh, man.
Says here almost every tree at the fun park is crawling with cicada orgies. Young kids at the park are being attacked. An old-timer on a trolley ride through the park. You know that trolley ride that goes through that I get on that thing. An old-timer on a trolley ride took a cicada square in the nuts.
Ouch.
So that sounds pretty gross.
That sounds really gross.
Oh, yeah, and those things are quite sizable.
Yeah, I didn't know we had them around here.
If there was a new guy at that theme park in Ohio, what do you think he'd be doing?
Jeez, I know what he'd be doing.
I know where he'd be. He'd be in a corner.
Where would he be? In the corner?
He'd be in a corner.
He'd be puking his guts out.
Heck yeah.
The new guy.
I can't imagine. I had to stay here all last week because there was a June bug in Nick's parking space, and we parked right next to each other. And it was too close to my car. I thought about getting in on the passenger side or something, but I ended up just kind of sleeping over.
You spent the night?
Yeah, you saw my reaction. I couldn't do anything. That thing was guarding where I needed to go.
Man, yeah, you and bugs.
Don't like them.
Don't like them at all. All right. Here's something for Cubby. We got big plans for you. Come next Friday, and we'll reiterate that when we get a chance. This is for the future when you finally wise up and leave your wife.
Come on.
She
kills the bugs. I'm never going to be able to leave her.
I'll come over and kill the bugs.
Would you really?
Yeah. You can, when you finally become single again, Cubby, you can go to Japan, and you need this. They're teaching middle-aged donkeys like yourself how to take better selfies so you can come off like a player on the dating apps.
I've never taken a selfie on purpose. I took an inadvertent one by accident.
No, nobody takes selfies. You, admittedly, you don't know what to do when a picture is being taken of you.
Oh, I hate it.
And you can see the hatred on your face. You are so uncomfortable. I've got one from Randy Shaver's gala from last summer where there's never been a picture taken where someone looks more uncomfortable and more unhappy than Josh.
I try my best. And actually, I got made fun of by my daughter when we went to Boston because now what I kind of do is I'll laugh quietly. Just to see, look, maybe I'm going to smile.
Right.
And she turned to me like, what are you doing? You're laughing in my ear, because I'm like...
You sound like the Joker, man. What are you doing?
She thought I was going insane. And I was telling her, I'm like, I'm trying to smile. And then my eyes used to always be closed. So I try and keep my eyes open, and I look like a crazy person.
Yeah, you don't look good.
I couldn't figure it out.
You don't.
It's so difficult.
You don't like the sight of yourself.
Hate it.
You hate the sound of yourself.
Even worse.
Right. So you're just not comfortable when the focus is on you. Even if you're one of 15 people in a picture, you look miserable and uncomfortable. So I try. They'll teach you in Japan, Josh. Once you get over there. After, of course, you attend a sold-out triple bill live concert featuring Cinderella, Mr. Big, and Dawkins or something along those lines, they'll hook you up with a love consultant by the name of Kikuno. And she'll give you pointers on your selfies, such as yellow lighting should be avoided. It makes your skin look dull, Josh.
Oh.
No yellow lighting. She'll ask you to smile more, which you will. I'm sure you'll fight her on that.
I don't know how to do that on command.
She'll teach you about angle and distance and other factors. And it says here, you're not alone. A lot of men feel awkward and shy when it comes time to take a picture.
This is strange, and I don't know how this came to be, but I read an article on profile photos for like something when you're looking to get a job, for your resume or something like that. Okay,
sure.
And I didn't realize how much goes into people's thought on something like that. I mean, there was it was a whole article on...
Really? On just taking a picture of yourself for a professional reason.
Yeah, resume.
Your resume, you're sending out an email to an employer with your picture, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I don't even... I mean, I've
never... just smile.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
How can it be more complicated than that?
But it was kind of some of the things you're describing here.
Right.
Like, I don't know, do people even really look at it that? I didn't even know you put a picture on a resume.
Oh, I wouldn't know. But
all you do is you just kind of lie about your experience, right?
Yeah. Your skill set and your experience. I mean, yeah, it depends on who you are. Uncomfortable people, man, a camera's the worst thing in the world. And Josh is one of them. You end up with a terrified expression. But if you go to Japan, they can show you what you're doing wrong. They'll show you what you should do. It says here, Kakuno, the love doctor or whatever.
It's Kakuno. It's hard to correct you.
She says, middle-aged men need to know this. One photo can change everything for you in the dating world.
Yeah, I suppose if you send the wrong one, whoops, that's my penis. We're not there yet.
One photo can change everything. A good pic, they say, can land you double the squish.
Really? Well, I mean, that makes sense, sure. But wouldn't you want to have, like, a bit of an underwhelming photo so when they see in person, they go, like, for example, and
see,
you know
you're overthinking it. You're overthinking it.
Oh, no.
But go ahead. Go ahead anyway.
And you know this is not an insult. You are much better looking in person than you are in photos. Like, sometimes you'll show a photo and go, oh, my God, I look like this, or that.
I look very old and very pale and sickly.
Some of them I wouldn't know. I mean, of course, I would know it was you, but if I just glanced at it quickly, I wouldn't assume it was you.
I'm much more handsome in person, you said.
Yeah, by far.
Oh, I agree.
By far. I would do it again. Jesus said he has a group picture of us at the State Fair last year, and he says of me that I look like I'm about to puke. And he said, is that because you're a watcher and not a doer? It could be. Honestly, I try not to ruin a picture, and I think maybe I overthink it.
Yeah, you do overthink it.
And I just get ripped on it so much that's in my head. So I'm trying to, like if you ever, probably not. I was going to ask if anybody here's had a golf lesson.
No.
A friend of mine, he was, what do they call it, golf pro?
Sure.
Golf. So, and he was a neighbor, and he one time, before we did, the one and only time I played golf was with you at a charity event.
Right.
And so I said, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing. Can you give me a couple of pointers? And he was kind of showing me, and there were so many things to think about where when I got one thing kind of on the right path, 5 other things fell to the wayside.
Right.
And I think that's what happens when I take a picture.
Yeah. But you're not alone.
People are texting.
And you can get better. Maybe you don't want to, but you can get better if you just kind of Free your mind. Don't worry. Not everyone's looking at you. All that stuff. You know what I'm saying. Well, a text came in?
Yeah, Vertically Challenged. She's sent a picture of the two of us on, it looks like the Fall Booze cruise. And she said, we both look uncomfortable. I can say this is one of the most comfortable-looking pictures I've ever had.
Yeah, you actually look good there, Josh.
Honestly, if you think that's a bad picture, Vertically Challenged Jesus, that's probably one of the best pictures I've ever taken.
We can show you some that look more like hostage photos than anything else.
Absolutely. I'm looking at the picture as well. Although I can just see a slight sign of fear. Just very slight.
Yeah, I see it too.
This is one of the best pictures ever taken of you in the last 25 years.
And she looks great. You don't look uncomfortable.
No, she doesn't
she
look
said
uncomfortable.
We both look uncomfortable.
Either. No. All right. Captain Cuck and his first mates will return here in a few minutes on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I could use some poontang myself right now.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Sports. On the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
1-2. Swing and a miss! Greatness from Gage! A no-hitter!
Was that Clay Matvick on the call?
Oh, I never even looked to see who that was.
Clay, I talked to Clay a while back. He was calling some of these college baseball games.
Should we play it again?
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds kind of like him. I suppose we could look it up. I don't know. Go ahead.
1-2. Swing and a miss! Greatness from Gage!
Yeah, it doesn't sound.
That's not Clay. That's not the Clay Boy. But later on today, I can tell some stories of the Clay Boy Mansion if you want me to.
Oh, I love those stories.
I was the only one here at the radio station allowed to enter the Clayboy Mansion.
There's some stories I was surprised he was cool with you telling. I'll tell you what, from some of those stories, he's a laid-back guy.
He's one of the most chill, terrific pals a guy could ever have. Ever. The Clayboy. College baseball, did you know that it was a thing?
Yeah, I know they played
had it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I was aware.
I was reminded yesterday when a kid from Arkansas by the name of Gage Wood, he threw a no-hitter during the Men's College World Series. A historical thing. Only the third ever. That's something special.
That is.
I'm just not a big college baseball guy.
The College Baseball World Series confuses me because I feel like it takes 2.5 months to get through. There's so many different rounds and, losers brackets, and you can fight your way back in. It seems very confusing.
It's never been anything that I've followed very closely. But
is it a best of 7?
I have no idea.
That's like a whole tournament.
Yeah.
No, I know.
There's like 152 teams get in, and it takes 6 months, and it's a quadruple elimination, and they go by total runs scored, and
they have sack races on consecutive Sundays if there's a tie.
Right. Sometimes they settle it in the octagon. It's a whole thing. But this is a hell of a story. I don't mean to, take a dump all over the story. We'll tell you, just how historic this was when Randy Shaver joins us in about a half hour. Twins start a series in Cincinnati tonight. The Edmonton Oilers are going to try to save their own sorry asses tonight.
And you don't think it's going to happen?
No, it's not going to happen. Maybe it'll happen.
It could happen. That's why they play the game.
That's exactly why they. And then in Oklahoma City. Josh's news is coming up next.
93X
Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Expert entrepreneur Ed Milet is on a mission to max out your life.
We're throwing open the metaphorical closet doors of our lives. We're going to be cleaning out the closet. What no longer fits? Audit some of your relationships. How about auditing your emotions? Maybe it's your career you need to look at. Get your life together for this season.
The Ed Milet Show.
It's time for a little cleaning of the soul. Let's get a little ruthless, a little refreshing, and a little real. God bless you, everyone.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
By the way, I faked every orgasm.
93X.
Half-assed morning show.
I'm very blown away right now, just knowing that somebody was in this park driving a car around trying to run over a child.
A 31-year-old Arizona mother has been sentenced to 10 years in prison after she ran over a 12-year-old girl with her pickup truck on purpose.
She did, huh?
The situation began when her children got into a fight in a park at a suburb in Phoenix. Other kids were reportedly egging on the fight and recording it because if it's not online, these days it didn't happen.
Fight. I remember those days, don't you, Josh?
Absolutely.
Sure.
According to prosecutors, and that right after those chants, I just got beat up. Badly.
No.
Badly at the encouragement of others.
That's the last you remember hearing in most situations.
According to prosecutors, the mother arrived to pick up her kids and was walking them back to her truck when a 14-year-old boy insulted her. She wasn't having it. So she confronted him, grabbing him by the hair and gave his head a shake that'd make a maraca jealous while yelling like a lunatic. When other boys started calling her derogatory names, she went to her vehicle, retrieved what appeared to be a sharp stick, and she chased one of the boys while shouting, "I'm going to kill you and run you over." After gathering her 4 children into the truck, the second boy stood behind the vehicle, mocking her and dancing. He then moved to stand behind his 12-year-old sister. That's when the mother revved the engine and drove straight at him. The boy managed to jump out of the way, but the girl was hit and her leg was run over. She didn't stop at just one felony. She seemed determined to collect them all. After hitting the little girl, she continued recklessly driving through the park, crowded with children. Several had to dive out of the way to avoid being hit. She then drove home, but authorities caught up with her soon after and placed her under arrest.
You got to take a step back. You're an adult.
The state believes the defendant, given her actions, poses a significant risk to the safety of others.
In an interview with police, she admitted to driving through the park, circling around some bathrooms, and cutting across the field before leaving. When asked if she thought she hit anyone, she replied, "I hope not." While she told authorities she made sure her kids were wearing seatbelts during the drive, her children later said they weren't buckled in and they were being tossed around the truck. After the sentencing, the county prosecutor said, thankfully, the most serious injury was a sprained ankle and some scrapes and bruises. But no matter how angry or frustrated you are, adults have to be the grown-ups. Never okay to lash out at a child, he said.
Yeah, that term adult doesn't quite mean the same as it did a number of years ago. Doesn't quite mean the same as it used to.
Just because you're old doesn't mean you're technically an adult.
Not anymore. It used to. It would just be kind of a given. You'd act like one once you hit a certain age. But
exactly.
A 30-year-old Boston man had a wicked brush with death after slipping off the edge of a cliff, trying to get a better view of an erupting volcano. The incident happened Wednesday in Hawaii. He was trying to find the perfect vantage point to watch the eruption when he ventured just a little too close to the edge. According to the National Park Service, the man was walking around after dark without a flashlight when he lost his footing and fell at about 9 p.m.
There he goes, huh?
No flashlight, no fear. Just the bold ambition of a man who's clearly never seen a single disaster movie. Fortunately, search and rescue teams were already nearby helping managing traffic. They launched a search and spotted him about 30 feet down, where incredibly a tree broke his fall. As he clung to the tree, lava continued to shoot into the sky, soaring about 330 feet.
Jesus.
Officials said if that tree hadn't been there, he would have fallen another 100 feet, ending in a squishy demise. It's not the first time someone's risky adventure in Hawaii ended a miracle. Last year, another thrill-seeking tourist drove off a 60-foot cliff because he was trying to catch the sunrise. His car plunged into the ocean and he was swept away, yet somehow survived, walking away with just minor injuries and a bout of hypothermia.
Trying to get a look at the sunrise?
Guess he wasn't paying attention to his driving. What a dope.
You know, you can see pretty good shots of sunrises and volcanic activity is how they say it, Josh. You can get a pretty good look at that stuff on television.
That's how I live life.
Or on your cellular telephone.
I like to watch. In San Francisco, 2 tech-tethered hikers took dropping a call to new heights while wandering near the forebodingly named Dead Man's Point. Their phones fell and nearly took them with. When they scaled down the cliff to try and retrieve their phones, the selfie seekers got stuck. San Francisco Cliff Rescue, who in the century of the selfie are seeing a lot more calls like these, were able to rescue the pair safely.
I'll be damned.
If you've received a suspicious text or texts claiming to be from the Minnesota Department of Motor Vehicles recently, you are not alone. Scammers are targeting Minnesotans' phones with bogus traffic tickets, and officials are slamming the brakes on the shady scheme. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety joined several other law enforcement agencies in issuing a warning about the scam earlier this month. And then yesterday, plenty other states have done the same. The texts pretend to be from either the Minnesota Department of Motor Vehicles or the Department of Public Safety and demand payment for fake traffic violations.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are even getting hit with buttloads of messages in a row, each more threatening than the last.
The message asks you to pay for a traffic ticket that doesn't exist. You know, some of the texts threaten to take action if you don't. The Department of Public Safety says don't click on any of these links, report the text as junk or spam, and then delete it.
So who's falling for this? Just the kids and the old folks?
You know, unfortunately, too many people.
Oh.
According to the Federal Trade Commission, consumers lost $470 million to text message scams just last year.
F me running.
Which was 5 times more than in previous years. So despite the efforts of getting these campaigns out there saying, hey, don't do it, people are still falling for it in record numbers.
God dang.
The Minnesota State Patrol is teaming up with other agencies across the state to test new AI software aimed at reducing traffic deaths. The Road Safety Information Center leverages artificial intelligence to identify the most dangerous roads in Minnesota to help law enforcement prevent accidents and save lives.
Now, and what it does is it'll analyze traffic data to find the most dangerous days and times on the roads. It's called the Road Safety Information Center, and it'll use data from multiple sources to get a better understanding of what's happening. Police will then target the most dangerous areas to catch suspected speeders and drunk drivers.
The RSIC platform opens up a whole new world of possibilities for improving traffic safety, a spokesperson for the Office of Traffic Safety said. In 2024, 151 people lost their lives in traffic crashes in Minnesota during the 100-day period known as the 100 Deadliest Days, referencing to the time between Memorial Day and Labor Day when traffic fatalities historically rise. According to the Department of Public Safety, speed played a role in 44 of those deaths last year. Between 2017 and 2024, just over 1,000 people died on Minnesota roads during the annual 3-month time frame.
It can be a little scary out there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. State lawmakers have officially passed a new bill which will require warning labels on social media platforms. Starting next July, Minnesota social media users will see a clear mental health warning each time they log in.
What we're hoping we will see is there will be messages that tell you that, here are some of the harms that you will find on these particular platforms so that the users can be clearly aware of the risks that they face when they enter that site.
Too much of this might make you nuts is what it'll say.
Yeah, it'll bum you out. The label is meant to be highly visible and will appear across all major social media apps. While the exact wording hasn't yet been finalized, the message will also include links to mental health resources to help guide users who may be struggling.
Isn't that something?
A few new laws are set to take effect in Minnesota just 2 weeks from today, impacting everything from boating to motorcycling and even cannabis. Starting July 1st, Minnesotans hoping to hit the lake legally will need more than just sunscreen and snacks. They'll need a watercraft operator's permit. The new nautical necessity starts with sailors aged 21 and under, and then slowly ropes in the rest of us by 2028.
Oh, yeah?
To get the permit, you need to visit the DNR's website, pay a one-time fee, and complete an online boater safety course that includes a final exam. The whole process takes about 3 to 4 hours. Once you pass, you Print a temporary certificate while you wait for the official one to arrive in the mail, which takes about 3 weeks.
I think it's so important that there's not people going out into the lake that don't know what they're doing, causing accidents, don't want any injuries or anything.
It's probably a step in the right direction. Any chance to have some skills, before you get out on the water is always good.
Also on July 1st, this has been the big one, the talker in town.
Oh, God, enough with this.
Motorcyclists will be allowed to split lanes, but only under specific conditions. Under the new lane-splitting law, riders can pass vehicles going in the same direction within the same lane, but only if they're doing 25 or less and no more than 15 miles per hour faster than the traffic around them. The law also legalizes lane filtering, which lets motorcyclists move between stopped or slow-moving cars, like in traffic jams or red lights, as long as they're traveling no more than 15 miles per hour around surrounding traffic.
Don't get me wrong. I'm in favor of whatever works best. I am. But my God, we've been talking about this for years.
I know.
Like aliens are about ready to land in town or something along those lines. By the way, back to that boating thing. So it's just for the young people now, but eventually all of us have to get some kind of a boating permit.
That's what it sounds like.
I'll be damned. And I'm not afraid, Josh, because every year my wife sits in the navigator's seat and reads the boating guide.
Oh, does she?
Kind of like when you read the company handbook.
Which is a fascinating read.
I bet it's not.
If you're looking for a summer thriller, maybe try some Brad Thor. Not this one. At last, but not least, Minnesota's cannabis tax is going up. Starting July 1st, the tax will increase from 10 to 15%, which applies to all cannabis products, including CBD and hemp-derived cannabinoids. The hike will take place. It'll put Minnesota among the states with the highest cannabis taxes in the U.S. It's expected to bring in more than $200 million in additional revenue.
You get a cut of that, I bet.
Oh, a huge portion.
You get a big cut of that.
Yeah, a huge portion.
Yeah.
I'm buying a lake and studying up. I'm in a boat, which I will put on a lake. I got ahead of myself. I'm not getting paid that much. Say farewell to fat wallets.
My back is a little tweaked. Because of your giant wallet. Just get rid of it. Never. It is a part of me.
A new bill making its way through the state legislature could bring digital IDs to Minnesotan smartphones as early as next summer.
Digital IDs.
Supporters of the bill say to think of it like Apple Pay or Google Pay.
Does this idea come from the digital underground?
They've been trying to get this going forever.
Some of you get it.
They say the digital ID is secure, easy to use, and always in your pocket. And we wouldn't be the first to jump on the digital ID trend. A dozen other states are already using them, making bulky wallets obsolete.
I want you to go in that bag and find my wallet.
Which one is it?
It's the one that says bad motherfucker.
Proponents say digital IDs might actually be safer than their plastic counterparts because they're tougher to misplace, harder to steal, and like a hidden smut folder securely stored on a smartphone. If it passes, the Department of Public Safety's Driver and Vehicle Services Division would roll out digital versions of Minnesota IDs and driver license starting in July of next year.
What about fake digital IDs?
I wonder if that's going to be easier to produce or not.
I bet that would be, yeah.
A Mexican restaurant in New York City recently hosted a Pedro Pascal lookalike contest, drawing close to 30 contestants, all vying to be crowned the best impersonator of The Last of Us and The Mandalorian star, Which is the Way.
This is the way.
The event was put on by Son Del North. Or would that be Son? Son Del North?
I'm still trying to figure out who Pedro Pascal is. But,
you'd know him if you saw him.
Okay.
I'll give you another reference in a minute.
Oh.
Mexican restaurant there, located on Manhattan's Lower East Side. According to the owners, the idea was sparked by a 2023 comment from Pascal claiming there was no good Mexican food in New York. We were like, actually there is, and we're right here, one of the owners said. The winner was Pedro number 5, a.k.a. George, a Brooklyn dad and lighting designer for Comedy Central.
Were you a Pedro Pascal fan before this?
Yeah, I was a fan. People told me there was a similarity, but, I never thought I would be in the middle of Orchard Street taking selfies with a bunch of people. That's cool.
His wife, Jenny, encouraged him to enter, pointing out that people had been remarking on his resemblance to Pascal ever since Pedro took on the role of the Red Viper in Game of Thrones. Very squishy.
What the hell was that?
I can't even watch that scene. When he fought the mountain?
I don't recall.
Oh, you don't recall? Maybe
No.
you didn't see it.
No, never saw it.
That'll never leave my memory. For his Pascal-like looks, George won free burritos for a year, which led to this fart joke from a local TV news station.
Delicious. You may not want to be around Mr. Guntas afterwards.
Yeah, right. I know. Mr. Guntas, keep your Guntas to you.
Fart jokes. Aside from a year's worth of flatulence, he also took home a $50 prize.
Well, that sounds pretty cool. Free burritos for a year.
And he did look like him. Yeah, he had definitely similar looks. Maybe they could be related in some way.
It's too bad he's married because he could really be taking advantage of that because ladies love that dude right now.
I got to look this guy up now. How did you say his name?
Pedro Pascal.
By the way, I told you this before. I got a buddy who looks a lot like pit bulls.
Does he do okay with the ladies?
Dude, no, he's married. But I think I showed you the photos. At the last pit bull concert, this pal of mine put on a pair of sunglasses, put on like a fancy collared shirt, and walked around the hallways at Target Center or XL, wherever the show was, and people really believed it was pit bulls and were taking pictures with him.
That's cool.
Was he attempting to do that, or it's just kind of...
Oh, yeah, he was attempting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He knew?
That's why I'm looking up I see this guy. I've never seen him before in my life.
I swear you saw the scene where the mountain crushed his head.
I mean, I remember watching Game of Thrones, but I don't remember any specifics except the girls were pretty and often naked.
Streaming today on Paramount Plus, Season 2 of Chopper Cops.
Get to the chopper! What the hell is Chopper Cops?
I don't know, but I'm upset with myself that I didn't even know there was a Season 1. I'm so excited about this.
You got some catching up to do.
So cops on motorcycles?
No, I could see why you'd say that. No, in a helicopter.
Do they know about the lane drifting? Or what is that thing again?
The lane splitting?
Do they know about the lane splitting?
Probably.
Wait a minute. So
they're talked about.
They're not cops on motorcycles?
No.
They're not.
Marion County, Florida Sheriff's Elite Helicopter Unit Air 1 deploys state-of-the-art infrared cameras to attack crime from the skies.
Oh!
Crime doesn't stand a chance when Air 1's justice comes from the
Dude,
sky.
you are not,
one from day one.
You're not going to miss this now.
Chopper Cops?
That's totally your thing.
I know. And like I said, I'd never heard of it until kind of looking up what's coming out this week.
What channel is it on?
It's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, you're gonna be wearing a Chopper Cops T-shirt, a Chopper Cops stocking cap. You're gonna be the Chopper Cop hoe.
I love Chopper Cops, and I've never even seen it.
Right.
If I had known there was a show called Chopper Cops, Josh, I just would have assumed you were the executive producer or something.
Maybe they'd let me fly around in Air 1. Man.
I'd be Air 1 from day one.
Like the first season of Chopper Cops, Season 2 also features 10 episodes. Tennis star Venus Williams, 45 today. Will Forte, a.k.a. McGruber, 55. Greg Kinnear, 62. And Bobby Farrelly, one half of the Farrelly brothers behind There's Something About Mary, Kingpin, Dumb and Dumber, Three Stooges, Dumb and Dumber 2, and many more. He's 67. Happy 14th to the best twins out there, Dylan and Savannah from Dad. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
He's very hairy and has a great disposition. Like I said, he loves to hug and he loves to give kisses.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Tyrese Halliburton, the Pacers, a strong comeback, but the Thunder had the answer. It's 3-2.
What a nightmare. Randy Shaver's fly has been going up and down like a window shade during this year's NBA Finals. And we'll get to that, Randy Shaver, so zip up for now.
Sure.
Okay? I need you to control yourself for now.
I will do my best.
Even though Glenn Perkins is on vacation, we're still going to cut loose with a Twins update, as Dana said, brought to you by Xfinity. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with those folks at Xfinity. The Twins begin a 3-game series in Cincinnati, Ohio tonight against the Reds. I wonder if the cicadas will attack them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'll probably do something to make sure that doesn't happen, but...
What can they... Randy, do you know about the cicadas?
Not necessarily. This is something that's Cincinnati, that's happened in Cincinnati lately or something?
Ohio. We were reading about this in the stupid news. In the state of Ohio, this is the time of year where these bloodthirsty cicadas, they coat every available surface, and they're disgusting, and they flew into some guy's car, and it caused him to lose control, and he crashed into a telephone pole. There's a fun park in Ohio where they're telling everyone, they're warning you at the gates, keep your yap shut when you're on the roller coaster because the cicadas will get into your mouth and make hatch.
I want to see some guy round in third and just get a mouthful, just barrel roll down and get tagged out.
I didn't think about that until just now. Cincinnati, Ohio against the Reds, where the entire state is crawling with cicadas. 6 o'clock start. David Festa starts for the Twins tonight. The Reds are going with a kid by the name of Andrew Abbott. Andrew Abbott. So, not much of the Twins news is great, as we discussed yesterday. Let me give you a rundown here. Coming off consecutive walk-off losses in Houston this past weekend. They've lost 4 in a row in 8 of their last 10.
Yep.
They're 10-15 since they went on that 13-game winning streak that brought them back to life after a bad start. And suddenly that 13-game winning streak seems like it was years ago to me.
It does.
It does.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They're sitting at 36-35 on the year. Okay, injuries. Pablo gone. Zebby Matthews gone. Royce Lewis temporarily gone. Byron Buxton iffy. Suddenly, the pitching staff has the worst collective ERA in baseball. Well, I should say, since Lopez got hurt.
Yeah,
the worst collective ERA the last 11 games since Lopez got hurt.
To be fair, yes.
The bullpen remains good, but Joan Duran did have a tough time in Houston. In Houston, the Twins were 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position. They left 16 men on base. They struck out 37 times. They scored 6 total runs, all of them coming on home runs. Gets you pumped for the series in Cincinnati, doesn't it?
Let's play 3.
I'm just telling you.
Yeah. I mean, the good news is that the Reds are kind of in the same boat as the Twins. I think the records are pretty similar. They do have a pretty good young pitching staff. I think they're going to miss Hunter Green in this series. I don't think he's healthy. So that's good news because he's probably the Reds' best pitcher. But you're right. I mean, the Twins are they're patching things up again, and we've talked about this before, how they've had to do this over the course of the last few years with all the injuries they've had and things like that. So we'll see how they do this week because they've got, I think they have the Reds, and I'm not sure who they have after that.
Yeah, who do they have after the Reds?
They're on the road for this week.
Seattle?
On the road?
Oh, they go to Seattle?
Oh, no, it's Brewers, and then they play the Mariners.
Okay. But the road games after Cincinnati are who?
The Brewers
Milwaukee.
and the Mariners.
Milwaukee.
Oh, I'm sorry, you said road games.
Road games.
Road games, then we go to the Tigers at the end of the month.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm confused. So after the Cincinnati series, we go to Detroit.
No. We're home.
Okay, forget it.
Yeah. You asked about the road games.
Yes, road games.
Yeah, road. Yeah.
Reds.
Like Randy said, the Reds are like the Twins in that they're hovering around the 500 mark. The difference is that the Reds are coming in hot. They've won 7 of their last 10, where my beloved Twins are 2-8 in their last 10 balls.
The Reds have some. I mean, if you love baseball and just watching, different teams. I mean, we don't see the Reds every, for an extended period of time. So you're going to see Ellie De La Cruz, who's an outstanding shortstop. Spencer Steer, I think, is healthy. That's the former Twin, who's was traded for Tyler Mahle.
Boy, I don't remember him at all.
Spencer Steer? My gosh, good player.
What?
Yeah.
In the bigs, I saw him play for the Twins.
I don't think he made it for the Twins in the bigs.
Yeah.
But since traded to the Reds, he's been a pretty good player. And of course, Tyler Mahle's with Texas now and often injured, but when he's healthy, he's pretty good. So
I like interleague play. So
I do too.
I
It's
like
fun.
these series when you go to Pittsburgh, you go to Cincinnati, you go to San Diego, some of these clubs that we never used to get to see before interleague play. I don't necessarily think you have to play everyone, which is what they're doing now. You play everyone.
But it's kind of fun to do that. I mean, I mean, for somebody who likes baseball in general and follows the league, and yes, it's because I play fantasy baseball, but I follow the league.
Chunky.
It is fun to be able to see all the players.
Yeah, I don't hate it. The current scheduling, I don't hate it. I just don't think it's necessary to play everyone. I was okay with what they were doing for a number of years, where there was 5 or 6 clubs. They I don't know how they did it, but
well, think about it, Nick. When we grew up,
yes,
you never saw, if you're a Twins fan, you never saw the National League.
No,
in fact, you probably never paid attention to them.
Well, I did because of one television program.
Well, maybe Hank. Yeah. Well, This Week in Baseball.
This Week in Baseball.
Maybe you followed Hank Aaron or whatever, but you probably never saw them live on TV. You probably until maybe the World Series.
The All-Star game.
Attention. Yes, the All-Star game. Sure.
When I was a kid, it was This Week in Baseball and the All-Star game when I could actually see guys like, when I was growing up, guys like Joe Morgan and Mike Schmidt and guys like that.
Right. When I think about it, I kind of get pissed about it because I got cheated out of watching those guys.
I get it.
Because they're Hall of Fame players that we rarely saw actually play.
Right.
If you were, I grew up in Cedar Rapids, so we would get some Twins broadcasts, but mostly we got the Cubs because it was kind of so I saw the National League more than I saw the American League. But I rarely saw Rod Carew play until I actually moved here and worked here, and then saw the tail end of his career, not even with the Twins. He was with the Angels at the time.
Right.
So
I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, didn't it make the All-Star game that much more special?
Yeah,
because that was your one chance to see the great players from the opposite league. When I went, I didn't even go to the All-Star game in 1985 when it was here at the old Metrodome, but I did go to the home run contest.
Wasn't that the first one?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I was just so effing beyond excited to see the NL All-Stars because, and I was, at the game itself, so at the home run derby itself. So I understand. Things are different. I don't hate the current setup.
I think the current setup is perfect. I do. If you're a baseball fan, it's just a nice luxury to be able to watch all the players. If you want to, you get that opportunity to do that.
Yeah, that first home run derby, Jesus. Someone look it up.
Didn't Bruno was
Tom Bernansky was involved.
Yes, I don't think he did very well, if I remember
maybe
right.
Cal Ripken won. I don't remember. It was so long ago, but it was so silly. The rules of the home run derby were absolutely different. I think.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Maybe the winning.
I was there too, and I don't even remember.
The winning guy hit 4 or 5 home runs or something.
Dave Parker hit 6.
Dave Parker.
Then a bunch of guys with 4. Bernansky, Carlton Fisk, Dale Murphy.
Wait. 72. Carlton Fisk, 72. Dale Murphy, 3.
Eddie Murray,
33.
Jim Rice,
14.
They all had 4.
Isn't that something? But I was pumped on that day.
To round out the rest of the names, Jack Clark. Steve,
wait. 20. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Steve Garvey, Ryan Sandberg, and Cal Ripken Jr.
Think about that. Those names. How many of those are Hall of Famers? Seriously.
No, I get it.
I mean, you don't get Hall of Fame players normally in a home run derby, right?
No, not anymore.
No, now it's up and coming.
Even if the rules were janky and the ballpark it was
janky,
sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, just to have those guys taking part in the home run derby, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you wish interleague play would have started when you were a kid.
I do. I really do.
Our Twins update, again, brought to you by Xfinity. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with by damn Xfinity. Last night, Shohei Ohtani made his debut for the Dodgers on the pitching mound.
Yep.
He had not been able to do that this season because of injury, and he pitched 1 inning. He gave up a couple of runs, a couple of hits and a run to the San Diego Padres, but he did hit 100 miles per hour on the radar gun, and everyone fell down and touched themselves. Just one inning.
Yeah. I mean, this is a good sign for the Dodgers because they have, and I'm gonna go there right now just to kind of find the list, but they have, let me count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They have 16 pitchers on the disabled list.
Really?
On the major league disabled list,
Jesus,
they have 16 pitchers.
What is it? A mumps outbreak or something?
7 of the 16 are starters. Blake Snell, Sasaki, Sheehan, Glasnow, Gonsolin, Hernandez, River Ryan. I mean, they have been decimated.
And they've still won 40-some ball games.
I know. It's crazy. But that's how, I mean, money will do that. You can buy a deep roster, and that's what they have. But, I mean, they need pitching. They need Ohtani to at least be serviceable for them.
Don Drysdale is dead. Sandy Koufax.
Well, Koufax ain't dead. He can
sorry.
still pitch.
I meant to say Fernando is dead. Speaking of pitching, a lot of folks been talking about this college pitcher.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
For the University of Arkansas by the name of Gage Wood.
He's pitched. Get drafted, too, by the way. He's going to be he's going to be a first-round pick.
I would think so.
In the Major League Draft, yeah.
Yesterday, he pitched just the third no-hitter in College World Series history.
1-2. Swing and a miss! Greatness from Gage! A no-hitter!
A no-hitter, he says. So the third ever and the first in 65 years.
Wow.
He also struck out a College World Series record 19 batters along the way as the Razorbacks beat Murrah State. So the other two guys who have pitched no-hitters in the damn College World Series was a feller by the name of Jim Erler in 1950. He pitched for Texas. And Jim Wixon in 1960, pitching for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. This Gage Wood kid almost had a perfect game. Ended up in the 8th inning, he hit a batter in his back foot. And during an on-field interview with ESPN after the game, he was asked to describe his emotions following this historic performance, and he simply said, I shouldn't have hit the guy.
You just threw the third no-hitter in the history of this event. How do you describe your emotions?
I shouldn't have hit the guy. That's it. That's all I got to say.
Shouldn't have hit the guy. That's
he wanted the perfect game. Yeah.
What else does this kid get other than all the ass he could ever dream of?
Free barbecue for life?
Oh, yeah. Arkansas, of course, moves on in this goofy College World
Well, they stay alive.
Oh,
that was an elimination game. Yeah.
Move on, stay alive, however you want to call it. Josh is right. He's also received a lifetime supply of barbecue.
Awesome.
I like to eat.
Me too.
Just as much as the next guy. There's a joint in the state of Arkansas called Wright's Barbecue, who is letting the kid eat there for free until the day that he dies, I guess. And it's not just some pile, some roadside pile. This joint has been voted on separate occasions, not only best barbecue in Arkansas, but best barbecue in America.
Whoa. That's saying something. Over Kansas City, they're known for that kind of thing. Free barbecue free anything for life would be pretty
You once went all the way to Kansas City to step on a used condom.
Well, that's not why I went there, but that's what happened.
That wasn't why you went there?
But I did bring back some barbecue sauce.
You remember that story, Randy Shaver, where Josh was walking around?
I think I've avoided telling
there are so many stories that Josh has told that are similar to that. They all blend together for me, stepping on condoms.
That one was actually quite unique. Except for when I worked at that used condom factory. It happened quite a bit there.
The used condom factory.
I'm kind of desensitized to Josh's condom stories.
You know why Nick doesn't have one condom?
I don't have one. I could not tell you a single condom story.
I had to tell him what a condom was.
With Randy and I doing what we often do and going on and on about the old days, here's a listener who texted in to ask, do we remember the one-handed pitcher? And I'm guessing they're referring to Jim Abbott.
Yes.
Who, my memory, he went to a few different clubs, but my memory was that he was a California Angel.
Yes.
Left-handed pitcher who did not have a right hand, or it was severely mangled. I don't remember.
He did not have a hand.
Nothing on the right hand.
Because he tucked the glove underneath his armpit.
Yeah, so he'd tuck a left-handed glove under his right armpit. He'd throw the ball, then he'd quickly stuff his left pitching hand into the glove and be ready to do something. And he was a very good pitcher.
He was. He was very good. Think about how dangerous that would be, or was at the time, to have to get that glove put on so fast to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Because, the ball flies off the bat so fast, it's scary.
Saw him pitch many times. Yeah, he was.
I think he pitched for Michigan, didn't he? So I think he was a Big Ten guy.
Oh, I don't know. College baseball is not my thing.
I believe he was.
I know that Glenn Perkins, Paul Molitor, Dave Winfield went to the U of M. That's pretty much my extent of college baseball. Wow, yeah. So back to this Gage Wood, the kid who pitched the no-hitter. A listener texted in and said, all the kid gets is barbecue and ass? Well, that's a pretty good prize. At that age, what else do you need?
Dang.
Yeah.
Barbecue and ass sounds all right to me if I was a college kid. I like that joint in Hangover that you're friends with those folks in Hangover.
Yeah, Big Boar.
Yeah.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Speaking of that 1985 All-Star game.
Oh, here we go again.
I was just thinking about the famous picture from that All-Star game.
Tell me about the famous picture.
Dave Winfield, Jack Morris, and Paul Molitor all played in the All-Star game in 1985.
Right.
And there's that famous picture of all three of them underneath the Metrodome roof there. At the time, they were the three guys who, from St. Paul, that ended up in the Hall of Fame. Obviously, Joe Mauer's joined him since, but that's that famous picture of all three when they played for those teams.
You are
all
correct.
Made the All-Star game.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't left-handed specialist know this? Pardon me. Why wouldn't left-handed specialist Jesus know this? But he reminds us that Jim Abbott also pitched a no-hitter when he was playing for the stupid New York Yankees. That would be something that I would expect you to know, left-handed specialist Jesus, since Jim Abbott only carried around a left hand. Yeah, this sucks. Oklahoma City is now just one more referee-assisted win away from winning the NBA title.
Come on.
Get that zipper down, Randy. Jesus, how many penises do you have? Get that fly down, Randy. It's the NBA final. Yeah. The Indiana Pacers fought their nuts off, but they couldn't quite get her done. The final from Game 5 last night ended up 120-109. So Oklahoma City now leads the series 3-2.
I thought when they cut it to 2 in the fourth quarter that we were going to have a great finish in that game last night, but Jalen Williams was not going to have that. He was my opinion of him has changed so much.
He doesn't miss.
Yeah, in watching the playoff, the last two series.
I hate the guy.
The Western Final and then this series, he is really, really good.
He just doesn't miss when it matters.
Phenomenal. He had 40 last night. Shea Gilgeous had 31. Their bench was great. Wiggins and Wallace were great.
The hell was that?
OKC is. They're probably going to win this thing.
Maybe we'll get a Game 7.
Yeah, we might.
Maybe we'll get a Game 7.
If Halliburton is as banged up as everybody says he is, and can't go at 100%, that might change the way we look at things. But
now,
he did not play well last night. So.
Well, the word is he's injured.
They smothered him, though. I mean, God.
They did. Are you buying the injury story?
I am, because he's had that injury pretty much the entire playoff series, off and on. So
Tyrese Halliburton, who's been ungodly during this run for the Indiana Pacers, he didn't make a single field goal in the game. He only took 6 shots. Yep. That's proof right there that he must be hurt, that he only took 6 shots.
They also smothered him.
Well, but the guy can get off shots from half court, for Pete's sake. Yeah, they played good defense. Pascal Siakam had a nice game for T.J. McConnell was like a friggin' crack addict out there.
Yeah, he should have played more, I thought.
So Rick Carlisle, the head coach of the Pacers, Indiana fans are turning on him because this T.J. McConnell goes out in the third quarter and single-handedly brings the Pacers back into the game. He scored something like, 11 points in 3 minutes or something. This little T.J. McConnell playing in place of Halliburton. But then in the fourth quarter, Carlisle goes back to Halliburton, who clearly isn't himself.
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough call, though. I mean, Halliburton has done so much to get them where they are.
You're right, but if he's hurt, and really unable to get off a quality shot, why not play the hot hand?
Yeah.
I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I understand the argument for sure. I mean, McConnell played great.
This friggin' McConnell dude looked like he was willing to jump in front of gunfire to win that game last night for his team.
I've said this before. He would look great in a Timberwolves uniform. Because him and Mathurin, those two guys would look great in Timberwolves uniforms.
I love Rick Carlisle. Seems like a good guy, but I kind of made an ass out of himself last night. Why is McConnell on the bench after what he did for you in the third quarter? We don't need to get into it.
It's kind of a tough call.
It's not a tough call when Halliburton is injured. Randy.
Yeah, but he was playing. I mean, he wasn't like he was hopping or limping around, and he was playing.
All right. But teams that win Game 5 of an NBA final that was tied 2-2, it's just like we told you about the hockey, basically.
Yep.
Little less of a sure thing in basketball than it is in hockey, but teams that win Game 5 of an NBA final that's tied at 2 games apiece go on to win the series 74% of the time. 23 out of the last 31 opportunities. So Game 6 is Thursday night in the heartland of America. Indianapolis, Indiana. That's what they like to call it. We're the state of hockey. They're the heartland of them.
I would argue that.
You're going to argue that that's the heartland of America?
Yes.
I want to hear this argument.
I would say Iowa's the heartland.
Oh. Friggin' Iowegians.
So full of themselves.
Can't trust them. What it do, Jesus, is texted in to say, whoever McConnell is now my favorite NBA player. Man, he was awesome last night.
Yeah, he's been really good.
Undersized little bastard that he is.
He's a water bug, man.
Yeah. And he's not a kid anymore. Isn't he pressing 40?
Oh, he's not pressing 40.
Oh, I thought he was
No.
All right. Speaking of hockey, the Edmonton Oilers will try to save their own sorry asses from elimination tonight in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. Florida Hockey Jesus texted in Randy to say, she's over.
Yeah. I don't even know what the odds are. Haven't looked, but I have to think that they are a considerable underdog to win this game tonight.
Do you bet on hockey? I think people got to be nuts to bet on hockey.
I have in the past. Mostly the over-under.
Okay.
Total goals. I just feel like that's an easier thing to digest than trying to figure out who's going to win.
Hey, Randy Shaver, one of our listeners, who is this? Motocross 492 Jesus. You said that Iowa's the heartland of America?
Yeah.
He says Iowa's not the heartland of America. It's full of cucks. Wall-to-wall cucks is what he says.
The Iowa Cuckeyes.
Yeah. Did you know that for our boat party next Friday that Josh, the Cuck King of Hennepin County, is going to have his own cuck throne.
Oh, my God.
And
we'll be serving cocktails. It's going to be like a whole thing.
Being a true blue cuck that he is, he's just going to have to sit in his cuck throne and watch everything that goes on. The drinking, the eating, the socializing.
Sure.
In true cuck fashion, if any couples want to make out in front of Josh, he, as a cuck, will watch. This is a new angle on our boat party next Friday.
I like it.
It's the cuck boat.
I like it.
We even have a cuck throne we're bringing.
We're bringing a cuck throne.
It's going to be a whole thing that I deeply regret after going along with it earlier this morning.
Oh, you're going to be fine. What's wrong with just sitting?
Yeah, you got a chair, man.
You want me to sit and watch with you? I'm happy to sit and watch.
Oh, I wouldn't mind a cuck pal.
Yeah. What do they call it in the bar world?
God.
What do they call that in the bar business? You are my. Oh, I guess it's wingman. That doesn't really.
Wingman.
I can't really be cuck man. That's stupid. But co-cuck captain is what I'll be.
Sure.
You're going to be fine. It's a great idea. Thank you to Sits on Baby Jesus, because Josh has admitted that he's obsessed with the whole cuck joke.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. You called me some sort of cuck earlier, and I lost it, and that's kind of what started this thing. Yeah, we could maybe have Dana. You want to join us? We'll have a whole cuck council.
Yeah, I think that would be nice.
Fun Size Jesus said she's going to bring some cuck cakes. I mean, we're going to make this
my God.
thing, which I will watch. I will not be able to enjoy, but I'll watch other people like.
You know, we're trying to talk about our boat party, but then some dork NFL fan had to text in and try to sidetrack our conversation. He says, "Did you guys hear that a certain quarterback is coming out of retirement? Jay Cutler is coming out of retirement."
Do care.
Yeah, we do care about that.
We'll watch.
Yes. Cuck buddies is what we are, Josh.
Heck
Okay, we'll be cuck buddies on the boat if you want someone to hang out with you for a little while.
A couple people are volunteering to be our cuck companions for the evening.
God.
This is.
Oh, there will be a dramatic reading of Cuckleberry Finn.
I'll admit that going into this, I was thinking, another boat party. Mm-hmm. You know, not that I hate them, but another boat party. Now that we've got this cuck twist, I cannot wait for next Friday.
It's a great fresh angle.
Put a little crown on your head, anoint you the cuck king. Maybe we'll get you a robe. I don't know.
What I'm looking forward to most is I love the booze cruise. You guys know this. I absolutely love those things. I talk myself hoarse. But I'm really looking forward to the conversation I'm likely to have with my wife tonight when she tells me what she heard happened on the radio. She's going to have some questions about all this cuck stuff.
Is there something you've been wanting to tell me? Is this your way of bringing it up?
Well, like you said earlier, after a number of years.
Right, I'm only a few years away from being cool with it, probably.
All right, the Edmonton Oilers and Florida Panthers will play in Sunrise, Florida tonight. Sunrise, Florida tonight is how you say that. Panthers, of course, trying to claim their second cuck in a row. Cuck drop is around 7 o'clock, and it'll be televised on TN Cuck.
They might raise the Stanley Cuck tonight.
Yes, I think it's over, but if I'm wrong, which would be a first, Game 7 will be Friday night. I think that the Panthers will go ahead.
Be an amazing win if Edmonton can pull it off.
Yeah. But remember last year they were down 3-0, came back and tied the series. They've done wacky things before. We're getting there now. Boy, this is a popular bit. A lot of folks are texting in on this bit, Josh. Holler at me if there's anything I need to know.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think the boat would go along if instead of like money, everybody had to pay in cuck bucks to buy their cocktail or cocktail weenies?
Any chance of an appearance by Cal Cluttercuck?
Snout Rocket Jesus is excited for the hockey game tonight. She wants to know if it's on streaming on Peacock.
Yeah. Anyone checked in on the Cuck Tua girl? We could do it all morning, Randy.
Oh, man.
64
How did it start? That's what I remember.
Somebody called us cuck lords.
Yeah.
And then
months ago.
Yeah, a while ago. And for whatever reason, it got me. I thought that was so funny. And then a few people have texted in something similar. Nick, I can't remember what you said this morning.
I just called you a friggin' cuck is what I did.
It was so out of nowhere that, I lost it. And so, yes, people started calling me the Cuck King. And Brian Cuxton, I don't know if he's going to be there. Byron Cuxton.
Cuxton.
He might not be there. He's busy.
Byron Cuxton. I didn't have any interest in the bit, really. I never thought the Cuck thing was funny or interesting at all. But now that you've blended it with Josh, now I am out of my cucking mind. Love the bit.
You know who doesn't? Northside Front Load Jesus says, my God, I am tired of this bit. That's it. I am changing the channel. Cuck you guys.
All right, how about this, if you care? This is finally going to happen, I guess. Vikings receiver Jordan Addison has a trial date for his DWI from a year ago.
I thought that had been resolved at this point.
I wish I could just pick when I get to go to court for a DWI. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It'll be July 15th this summer in California. If you remember, he was found asleep at the wheel at the Los Angeles airport.
It's one of the telltale signs usually.
Good call, kid.
Yeah, wasn't he in the middle of the road in like a Rolls Royce?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's what I remember.
You're going to stand out.
I wish I could just say, nah, I'm not ready for court yet. Give me a year.
I'll get to it, I promise.
Friggin'. And so, of course, maybe he'll actually be found guilty, and then maybe the NFL will punish him, and then maybe he'll have to serve a suspension. But this has been going on for so long at this point, I don't even care.
Maybe that's the strategy, right?
I guess.
Nobody cares anymore.
I mean, push it off until nobody effing cares. Not that friggin' good anyway. 51 days until Jalen Hurts' birthday.
We got to have a big party.
Counting.
I'd like to. Can you look up when his birthday is, the exact date?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe it's a Friday or a Saturday, and we can have some kind of a Jalen Hurts party over at Big Boar Barbecue. Huh?
August 7th.
What day of the week is that?
Let's look at the calendar here. The Cuck Cal. August 7th is a Thursday.
Well, close enough. We'll have a party. All right, this is effing hilarious right here. I can't even get through this because it's so friggin' stupid. But anytime Karen Rodgers' name comes up, it's usually something pretty stupid. Karen Rodgers' family, who have hated him a lot longer than we all have. You got to give him credit for that, right, Randy Shaver?
Exactly.
They knew.
They knew.
Before the rest of us knew. Before the darkness retreat.
Way before. They knew this guy is a moron.
When that first came out that his family didn't talk to him, I remember everybody thought, wow, that's really rude of Aaron Rodgers to abandon his family. Then we slowly realized it was the other way around.
Yeah.
The family was like, we want nothing to do with you, pal.
And don't come back, they said.
Mm-hmm.
Karen Rodgers' family, they're not really sure if he really got married.
Oh, my gosh.
And people have been researching it and trying to figure out, is there any public record of this? There's any documents? There's nothing. Nobody's found anything, despite the fact that he said he was married.
There's just a ring or anything else, that wedding ring.
Yeah, it's a wedding ring.
Congratulations.
Thank you. How long ago? It's been a couple months.
Is there anything that this guy can spit out of his friggin' arrogant yap that's believable?
No.
He says he got married. And then people look into it, there's no record of it. And his family says, we don't know anything about it. Just come on. Come on. The bit is over.
RV Slinging Jesus, listening to the whole Cuck thing, said he just shot some cucky charms out of his nose.
Now, this is golf right here, Randy Shaver. Yesterday, you bored us with the U.S. Open.
Yes.
you and Brad.
So boring.
You and Brad team up.
Boring.
You gang up on me once in a while, you and Brad, and you want to talk about the misters, whatever it is. The
Masters?
This is golf.
Okay.
When they throw the ex-jocks out onto a golf course with singers and whatnot.
This is at Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Mauer's playing.
Your guy, Joe Mauer, will be playing.
Yes.
In the, they call it the American Century Championship near Lake Tahoe.
It's at Edgewood Golf Course in Tahoe. I've played it. It's awesome.
Okay. Now, last year, Mauer tied for 16th. That's pretty damn good. Because how many swinging Ds did they throw out there? 100?
Well, there's a lot. And, a lot of these guys are scratch golfers. I mean, they're really, really good. So
Joe Mauer's going to be there. They put this on television, don't they?
Yep. That is correct. Yes.
There are many side notes to this tournament. The Miz, who is awesome, WWE wrestler The Miz, vows to finish above Charles Barkley.
Doesn't sound like that big of a challenge.
No, it might be, though.
I guess.
Has he gotten better? I just remember it was always the joke was that he had a swing coach.
Yeah, he's gotten better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So The Miz must not be much of a golfer, which makes me respect him even more.
I think you have to be a certain handicap to play in this, though.
Oh, you can't just be garbage?
No, I don't think so.
Even if you're a big... Well, of course, that can't be true because Charles Barkley is garbage.
He's not as bad as you think he is.
Oh.
I think you have to be... his swing is bad, but he's not as bad. I think you have to be a certain handicap in order to play.
Oh, I thought that if you were just a somebody, you could walk on up.
I don't think so.
Well, that's too bad for people who are somebodies that want to just walk on up. Last year, former tennis player Marty Fish won the tournament. Isn't he a Minnesota guy?
He's from Minnesota.
Yeah. Oh, my God, he's from Minnesota.
Yeah.
Let me roll through some of the other characters because this is fun.
There are some great names on this list.
Your guy, Steph Curry, man.
I don't care. Stephon Curry, he's dead to me.
Oh, come on.
Here are some. I'll start with notable football dorks who are participating in this. Mm-hmm. Is it for charity?
I don't think so because there's prize money involved for
what
those
do they
guys.
call it again? What do they call it?
It's the American Century.
American Century. Okay. Yeah. And I deleted a few.
And it's a scoring system. It's not normal golf. You get certain points for a par, a birdie, an eagle, that kind of thing. It's a scoring system.
All right. Here are some notable football players. I did delete players that I'd rather not talk about. Josh Allen, Marcus Allen, Jerome Bettis, Tim Brown, Joe Buck, Sam Darnold, Larry Fitzgerald, George Kittle, Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield, Jim McMahon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice, Tony Romo, Emmitt Smith, Joe Theismann, Charles Woodson, Steve Young.
Yeah, that's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to be able to watch these guys play.
I would much rather watch these guys play golf than the real golfers.
Mm-hmm. And think about...
Those guys are stupid.
If you think about Lake Tahoe, if you've ever been there, Lake Tahoe, the stretch of where the casinos are, is probably about 3 to 4 blocks long. It's not very long. There's not... I mean, these guys are probably walking around, Lake Tahoe. So for autograph seekers and people like that, or just people watching, you're going to get an opportunity to see a lot of, Hall of Fame kind of guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's not like Vegas where you can get lost. Lake Tahoe is much smaller. So
notable basketball dorks, and I deleted a few players I'd rather not talk about. Ray Allen, Charles Barkley, Vince Carter, Vinny Del Negro, who I understand is very good at golf.
Wow, Vinny Del Negro, yeah.
I understand he's very, very good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Grant Hill, Zach LaVine, Josh.
Yes.
You want to know what current NBA player is going to be at this golf tournament?
Tell me.
Can you guess?
Well, I saw the list.
Kyle Lowry.
Are you and I the only ones that get that?
Yes.
That makes it special.
Austin Reeves. All right, how about baseball dudes? Roger Clemens, Mark Mulder, who I understand is very good at golf, Albert Pujols, Jimmy Rollins, Gary Sheffield, John Smoltz, Chase Utley, Shane Victorino. They called him Hawaiian Punch.
I think John Smoltz is a pretty good golfer.
That's what I've heard. David Wells, well, he's built for golf, and Jason Worth. Hockey, the list isn't as long, even though I think hockey players, aren't they very passionate about it?
They're very good. They've got that natural swing.
TJ Oshie, Joe Pavelski, Matthew Tkachuk. I don't see Mike Modano's name on the list. And I thought this was something that
I'm a little surprised.
I thought this was something that he did every year, and he whoops everybody's ass.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised.
Mike Modano. And then I'll wrap it up with general entertainment dorks. The Miz. Nate Bargatze.
Bargatze.
He's a comedian.
Thanks to Randy. I watched his most recent special because I know how much you love him, Randy.
Yeah.
I see why. I see why you love it.
Brian Baumgartner is an actor and comedian from The Office. Anybody?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Who, what?
He played Kevin in The Office.
Never saw it. Carson Daly.
Yep.
He seems like a good dude.
Oh, he still hosts television shows?
Yeah, he does
The Today
American
Show.
Idol, right?
The Voice.
Does The Voice, that's right. The
Oh, I
Voice.
thought he was.
Oh, really?
I thought he had been lost years ago.
No.
Yeah, you don't see him like you used to.
Oh, I misread this and I got excited. It's someone named Chris Harrison. I thought it said Chris Hansen.
No.
We interviewed him, remember that?
Yeah.
He was awesome.
When that show was big. What was that called?
Yes.
Well, Dateline
Catch a Predator?
To Catch a Predator. Yeah.
Jesus, balls, that show was something.
Yeah, it was.
Chris Hansen, he said.
Why don't you have a seat right over here?
"Eh."
The best was, and we've mentioned this before, but the best was when somebody was like, well, am I free to go? And Chris, oh, yeah, absolutely. And he goes out and he's tackled by 10 alpha males.
It's immediately speared.
Oh, that was the best.
Colin Jost will be there.
Jost.
Rob McElhenney. Alfonso Ribeiro.
Really?
Yeah. But you know what it says here from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Give the guy credit. He's done other damn things.
America's Funniest Home Videos.
America's Funniest Home Video. Rob Riggle, I can't stand the sight of the guy. Ray Romano, Miles Teller from the Top Gun movies. Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
And I bet you Randy Shaver would. Dana, you probably wouldn't know who Jack Wagner is, would you?
No, I don't know.
I don't know why he's
a really good golfer, too.
Is he really?
I think he's won this thing.
Yeah, you're right. He has. He's unbelievable.
Wasn't he kind of a soap opera guy?
He was a soap opera guy.
He's got to be 70-something by now.
All My Children, I think.
General Hospital, it says here.
Oh, General Hospital,
But
yes.
he also had
65.
He had that huge hit single. Was that not Jack Wagner? Oh, no.
Oh, I think you're right.
No, I'm sorry. I got confused. He had a hit single. I was about ready to sing the song by Sheriff, which was Baby, this and that when I'm with you. That was Sheriff. What did Jack Wagner sing?
Looks like a lot. Was Too Young? Was that one?
No, that's not. He had one massive single. And I got locked up thinking about
there's a lot
shit.
here. Oopsies. Looks like we played some licensed music on the show. You see, as a radio station, we're not allowed to play music for some reason. # so stupid. By now, our podcast guy has already removed the music we're for some reason not allowed to play, so let's get back to the show. All I Need.
That's it.
That's
All
gotta
I
be the
Need.
one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Now, if a guy were to say he liked this song, would he get made fun of?
Yeah.
He'd be called a cuck.
This is Cuck music, Josh.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's my theme song. All I need is to watch you enjoying yourself.
Da 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 da. Randy. Da 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 da.
You really didn't like this song?
The song is garbage. Da da da. Total garbage song.
I mean, it kind of sounds like Chicago or something they
Yes.
sing. And you like Chicago?
I like some. I like some Chicago songs. Not all of their over-the-top ballads are my favorite Chicago. So, yeah, I'm happy for the guy that he's still, showing up and having fun at these events. I mean, that song was a long time ago, and so was General Hospital. I was thinking of, baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. Something goes sideways when I'm with you. That was Sheriff. That's also kind of a garbage song.
And that's just the question I was about to ask.
What was the question?
I was going to ask a similar question.
It's not as much a garbage as Jack Wagner, but it's kind of garbage. All right, I was wrong. This is great. Yeah, 80s
What's the
stuff.
year for this? Yeah.
What's that, Randy?
What was the year for this?
Oh, 80. I want to say like 82-3.
Yeah.
But I
did
can't.
The singer Freddie Kersey?
I have no idea. Nobody knows any of the names of the guys in Sheriff. Don't worry about it, Josh.
Probably not.
What about him?
I think he painted his eyebrows on or something.
Did he?
Doesn't look right. So if you're in this band...
I got to give him credit. That's kind of pretty.
It's catchy.
Sorry I blew up. What were you saying?
If you're in this band, though, and you're the guitar player, taking your shirt off is a little bit much for this song, don't you think?
Is the dude's shirt off?
It's wide open. This is not the right song for. It's like when sometimes you watch a band And it's a relatively simple song, but the drummer's acting like it's the most complicated song of all time.
Well, let me ask you something. Does the guy have a nice build?
I'd be very jealous if he was with my lady.
Look at it this way. This was the idea that the guitar player for Sheriff had before they filmed this video. He thought, we're Sheriff. This is only going to last about 20 minutes.
Probably.
I'm going to give it my best while I have the chance.
He looks good doing it.
Yeah, there you go. Randy, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Thank you very much. We'll be back in a few minutes on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
On 93X.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
I am Michael Rosenbaum.
I am Tom Welling.
Welcome to Talkville,
where it's fun to talk about Smallville.
We're going to be talking to sometimes guest stars. Are you liking the direction Lois is going in?
Yeah, because I'm getting more screen time.
It's good. But mostly it's just me and Tom remembering.
I think we all feel like there was a scene missing here.
You got me, Tom.
Let's revisit it. Let's look at it. See what we remember.
See what we remember.
I had never been around anything like that before. I mean, it was so fun.
Talkville. Talkville.
I just had a flashback.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Let's get into it.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
It's not just the swearing. Did one of you fornicate?
Fornicate? Look, I've boned a lot of chicks in my time, sure. But as far as I can recall, I've never fornicated anybody.
93X.
Oh, yeah, this is the life right here. Makes me wonder what the rest of you suckers are doing right now, because this is... welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. What a terrific crowd. What is it? 8:36. Sure, 8:36. What are your plans this summer, Cubby? You going anywhere else, or was that trip to Boston a couple months ago pretty much it for you?
That's it for probably a decade or so, I'd imagine.
Road trips, anybody? Road trips.
I'll be going up north a few times this year.
What?
Yeah.
Where do you go when you go up north on a road trip?
My family, every couple summers, we like to do a trip up to Arrowwood.
Oh, I love Arrowwood.
Yeah, very excited about that.
Arrowwood. Mm-hmm. And?
A friend's cabin. I can't remember what town it is. Something like an hour away. So not really that far, but...
Only an hour. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Some people's commutes are more than that.
I know.
It took me an hour.
Arrowwood's great.
Just, I don't know if I'm familiar with that joint. Where is that?
Alexandria.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
You'd like it.
I used to go up that away years ago when I was a married man. Well, my first marriage. Because we used to hang out in Glenwood.
Yeah, if you're looking for a resort, I bet you'd enjoy that there.
All right.
I like it because the last time we went, there was the oldest, most laid-back horse when we went on, some horseback riding, and that guy was perfect. He had nothing to prove anymore.
You got on the horse. You got on the horse that was more or less praying for death.
Essentially, yeah.
And it didn't give you any difficulties.
No galloping, no nothing.
Horseback riding. You went horseback riding. Yeah, by the way, it took me an hour to get home yesterday. But I don't need to get into that. Old people are yelling at the young people about road trips. That's what we old people do. We yell at the young. We like to remind them just how SAWFT soft they are.
Oh, it's a lot different now, that's for sure.
It really is.
Old timers are telling the young people online how much harder road trips used to be back in the day. That's what's been going on.
Yeah, I mean, even since I was a kid, it's so much different.
An old feller made a post on Reddit about how young people have no right to bitch about road trips in 2025 because of how much easier they are than they were. So folks were sharing some stories. Yeah. I mean, damn. Yeah, we had it pretty basic. I mean, my wife talks about long road trips she took with her family when she was a kid. And she says, yeah, I just put on my Walkman. And I have to stop right there and say, I didn't even have a friggin' Walkman.
No, me neither. We only went on 2 trips, though. We went to Duluth once, and I think just like Hudson a second time. So we didn't really go on long family vacation. That's the only 2 trips I ever went on growing up.
Well, we'd go back and forth. Your grandparents lived in town?
Yeah, Golden Valley.
Yeah, that wasn't much of a trip. Yeah, see, both of my sets of grandparents lived out of town, and then we would take those Canadian fishing trips.
Sure, that's a hike.
So, sure, people are sharing. I didn't even have a friggin' Walkman. God.
No, you listen to whatever mom and dad said, and then you play the alphabet game about 1,000 times.
Well, tell me about the alphabet game.
Where you just basically look at road signs and billboards and things like that, and just play the alphabet game.
Well, I don't know.
You call them out, count the letters.
There's an A-hole.
So, like, I want to catch an A before you do, that kind of thing.
And if it said Alexandria 10 miles away, you said, what'd you do? I don't know.
It depends on where you're at, but it's my A, right?
I never played the game. And I if you want to play me, Josh, I think you'd easily beat me. Because I don't.
Oh, you could figure it out pretty. Now, all the billboards now say guaranteed cash offer. So there's a lot of other letters that are missing in the alphabet.
All right, here are older people, talking about how tough they had it back in the day during a road trip. Staticky radio stations. Mm-hmm. Or just 2 or 3 cassette tapes. Of course, today, kids have access to every song ever created when they go on a road trip.
When we took the family road trips back in the day when I was a kid, I'd always make a cassette tape by recording the songs off the radio, so that I could listen to it. I was privileged like your wife and had a Walkman so that I could listen to, whatever songs I recorded off KDWB or something when I was 11, 12 years old.
Yeah, you're lucky, man. That would have made a difference.
Mm-hmm. My old man didn't even like the radio.
Oh, just silence?
Silence. And, you guys were at his service. My niece said something very sweet at his service. She said, I always hated riding with Grandpa because he didn't even want the friggin' radio on. But she said, now that he's gone, I kind of miss that silence. But the dude, he never wanted the radio on, and it did drive us kids crazy. Can we just at least have any radio station on a low volume or maybe a ball game, just something? But he preferred silence.
So even when he was driving truck, it was just the CB radio, and that was it?
Mm-hmm. Communicating with the other kings of the road. That's all he wanted.
I had about a month, a few years, or maybe a couple years ago, where I didn't want anything on in the car either. And I thought this might be a sign of a mental decline. Like, I'm losing. And I asked you, Nick, is this concerning that for whatever reason I want complete silence? And you mentioned there might be something to that.
There might be something wrong with you.
Yeah.
I remember that conversation, Josh, because you said, is this normal? I don't like listening to things in the car right now. The last couple of days, I've been going silent. And I go, yeah, I do that all the time. And you're like, dude, you just made it 100 times worse.
That's true. I was raw dogging it before that was a trend.
Yeah.
How road trips are different these days, and the list is long. Okay, now every car has GPS. Back in the day, you had your mom and dad with a road map.
Arguing over, you don't know how to read a map.
Right.
I'm not stopping for directions.
You had some folks who would not stop. Well, now I have no clue how to play the alphabet game, but we certainly played a hell of a lot of slug bug.
Well, it'd be tough now, wouldn't it?
Kids these days can just watch a movie on their phone. They say here slug bug was our main form of entertainment. Now kids can watch movies and television shows on their cellular devices.
Do you think you'd even get one slug playing slug bug nowadays?
I didn't even think about that, but the slug bugs are gone.
You don't see them very often.
But would you, if we played the game today, would you still sock me if we saw one of the newer ones?
Probably.
Or does it have to be like an old Herbie from the 70s?
I think now you'd have to go with the newer ones.
You got to go with the new ones. Slug bug absolutely played the piss out of that. There's gas stations now and multiple fast food restaurants at every roadside exits.
Yep.
When we were young, we had to eat homemade peanut butter sandwiches and off-brand sodas.
I do remember the off-brand sodas on road trips for sure. A little Shasta action.
Yeah.
Shasta, to me, that was a name brand. Because ours would say, like, strawberry pop. We'd get, like, once or twice a year, my parents would do that for, like, a popcorn and pop movie night.
Mm-hmm.
Or, or just cola.
Just a white can that says
White
cola.
can, black lettering, it said cola.
It was ours was just a 2-liter bottle. So sometimes it would be, like, a white or yellow label that would just say what was in it, and that's it.
That was upsetting when Mom and Dad would come home with that stuff. It was upsetting.
I do like some of the names, though, of those off-brand pops where they're trying to make it look like a real thing. Like, oh, here's a can of Mountain Fizz.
Right.
Or the Shastas were insane. The Shastas
those were tasty. I remember thinking that was delicious.
Oh, I loved them. Mm-hmm. But they were crazy in the way they'd be like, diet, cherry, coconut, coffee cake, something. It was like everything that you could imagine was in one can.
Mm-hmm. The cheap generic sodas, some of it was great, some of it was absolutely awful. We experienced it all. Old folks noting what's different about road trips today and how you younger people have it so easy. Here are some other comments they made. Now, I can relate to this big time because we had a big, long, ugly station wagon. And this individual says, our parents loaded us into a station wagon with no seatbelts. How we survived, I have no idea. Yeah, we would not only stuff our family into this station wagon, but my aunt and uncle and their family.
The mom arm.
And a couple of dogs.
The mom arm, that's what saves you. Anytime you come into a quick stop or something, mom reaches her arm out, she saves the whole family.
Yeah, we had the backwards-facing seat.
Oh, yeah, my grandparents had that.
And the whole works.
We loved that.
I mean, we would put 4 adults and 3, 5, 6. We would put 4 adults, 6 children, and 2 dogs into that pig.
Jeez.
It was as uncomfortable as possible.
Air conditioning, too, now. Man, that would have been great as a kid.
My God.
Cranking down the windows manually.
Always had the window. But see, I'm not an air conditioning guy anyway. You guys know that. I don't think, unless the only time I use air conditioning in my vehicle is when my wife's in the car because she loves air conditioning. I've had my motor vehicle now for 5 years, I think. Never once have I put on the AC when alone.
I don't even know if my windows go down. I should try that out.
I love the wind blowing through But anyway, I know the station wagon gimmick. And, man, it was fun. I loved sitting in that back seat and looking at the poor bastard behind us. And, you tease him a little bit. You mock him. You might give him the finger. What's he going to do? We're kids. You're an adult. Where are you going to come kick our ass?
Mm-hmm.
You always taunt. We always taunted the adult behind us. That was the right thing to do, right, Josh?
Back then, yeah.
Back then it was.
Now you're going to get shot.
Now I wouldn't do it, because they'd pull out
You'd wave at him or you try to get the trucker to, pull down on the horn.
Oh, yeah.
I always hit the horn when kids do that.
Do you?
I mean, I don't drive a truck, a pickup truck, but I always wanted, because I remember as a kid when we do that, and once people honked, it was like you won an award.
Speaking of the AC or the heat, my folks, heavy cigarette smokers, and so was my aunt and uncle. And it's funny how they never, ever rolled the windows down while barreling through cigarettes between here and Janesville or here and Aiken or wherever we were going at the time. They would only roll the window down just a little bit to throw the cigarette out. Other than that, we were just deep-throating Marlboro Reds from the time we were babies. The only time they would open the window, and this is no longer a thing, is it, Josh? Those little wing windows.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that was it. And you know what's odd about it is I never noticed it. Because it's all I did as a kid was inhale cigarette smoke in the house.
I bet I smoked about a pack of Lucky Strikes every 2-3 days.
Yeah, it never bothered me. And cigarette smoke still really doesn't bother me. But I remember when they outlawed it in bars, and then I went to Wisconsin, and I went into a bar that was filled with cigarette smoke. It dawned on me, man, this is the way I used to live. But anyway.
That smell reminded you of childhood.
It did.
Yeah.
It always will. A lot of folks texting in on road trips, and you got some great stories. I'm going to try to get through as many of them as I can here. Here's a listener. When he was a kid, he took a 4-day road trip all the way to San Francisco. Wow. Son of a bitch. Here's an individual whose folks had a conversion van with rotating seats and a table in the middle.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's luxury right there.
Playing some cards and whatnot.
A friend of mine's folks had one of those. They didn't keep it very long. I don't think it ran very well, but it was sure fancy on the inside. Chairs, right, spun around, little table. You could, like you said, you could sit down and play some cribbage.
Uno. Pretend you're operating the Starship Enterprise. I mean, some guys might do that.
Oh, yeah. Not Steve, Jesus. His dad listened to polka music for 3 hours when he was taking road trips as a kid. I actually enjoy polka music. I don't know if I could do it for 3 hours.
I couldn't do 3 hours, but I like it. I wouldn't turn it. It reminds me of Weird Al, so maybe that's part of it.
Sure. So again, the gist is how much easier road trips are now as opposed to 25, 30, 35. Trash trucker Jesus, he's not on board with this. He says, oh, yeah, a full tank of gas being $5.16. Ooh, that was so hard.
The
right
kids
about
weren't
that.
paying for gas. This is more about the kid.
Come on. One of our listeners claims that they had to take a deuce into a Folgers can in the back of the station wagon because Dad wouldn't stop for the... No, you did not.
I think dads would pull over for number 2.
They'd rather have a turd in a bucket in the car than pull... I mean, we had to fill pop bottles with urine. We did because our dad would...
That's pretty common.
Yeah, on our trips to Canada, yeah, they weren't stopping over to... They weren't pulling over to piss. You were not taking a damn deuce into a Folgers can in a damn station wagon.
It's a funny visual, though.
Don't lie to Josh.
Go ahead if it makes you feel better.
Josh played a game during road trips as a kid called Alphabet.
The alphabet game. We played it with our kids, too. You want to be the first person to see the next letter in the alphabet.
Oh, okay. We didn't play that. Did you ever play, a listener wants to know, something called Padiddle? Oh, wait a minute. We did play this, but it had a different name. Okay, we did play this. Listener says, did you ever play Padiddle? When you see a vehicle with one headlight out, you say Padiddle out loud and you punch the ceiling of the motor vehicle. Yes, we played that, but our word was not Padiddle, it was beer.
Oh, yeah, we played Padiddle.
Oh, okay. So you played the game.
Yeah.
You called it Padiddle.
You just called it beer?
We called it beer when you saw beer and you punched the...
Did you guys do the game where you looked for license plates from different states?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. And you try and find the one that was the furthest away?
Yeah.
Now, another game that can be played. We talked about slug bug in the old days. If you saw a Volkswagen Bug, you punch the nearest person in the shoulder and you say slug bug. Those bugs are not around anymore. But one of our listeners has a similar game that he plays with his wife. When they're in the car together, he calls it Tesla Twister. Every time he sees a Tesla, he says, Tesla Twister, and he reaches over and he gives the wife a little twist.
I wonder if she likes that
I
game.
bet she hates that. But I have a new game to play, though.
Some of these road trips sound pretty miserable. Back in the early 80s, we would go on vacation to the Black Hills. We rode around in a 73 Monte Carlo with no air conditioner in the middle of August. The speed limit on I-90 at the time was 55 miles per hour, and the car only had an AM radio. Road trip to California from North Dakota. I was 5. There were 4 of us in an 82 Mustang with no air conditioner. One night we couldn't find a hotel room, so we all slept in the car. He called it character building.
I like that term. Bow hunting Jesus rode in the bed of a truck. Folks would throw blankets and pillows and stuff for them back there. I bet that was a blast.
See, that's what we did on all our Canadian fishing trips. My dad made beds. Well, one giant bed in the bed of his pickup. And, of course, we were under a topper. But, yeah, we would just lay on our backs or our sides the entire way. And part of the idea for the beds was you could open up the top of the beds, and that's where my dad and his friends would hide all of their American beer to be smuggled into Canada.
Along the
that was
topper line. This other person says, siblings and cousins. 5 of us would ride in the bed of our grandpa's truck under a topper, riding up 35W, singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall. I forgot. We sang that quite a bit.
Yeah, you had to sing something or not. Finally here, some of our discussion on road trips revolved around the idea that many, many years ago, not all cars had seat belts or working seat belts. Not a lot of our parents cared who was or was not wearing a seatbelt. And this is funny to me. One listener says, I would just end up under the dashboard of my dad's pickup when he would hit the brakes and I had no seatbelt on. That's funny. There, your dad probably was like, you all right down there? I mean, it wasn't a thing back then. Oh, man, thank you for all the texts, because that's a lot of fun. I love those stories. Everyone's got one. But we got to go.
This text says, sup, sluts.
Dude.
That's us.
Just wanted to check in on one of the 25 days he actually works this summer. Otherwise, it's all podcast listening for School Cop Jesus. He's going to have a good summer. Thanks for keeping up with the podcast, brah. GNR Twins Jesus wishing his amazing wife, Boom Salon Jesus, a happy 10th anniversary. Happy anniversary to ex-Coon Lake Jesus from Moonshine and Banjos Jesus, listening in the Ozarks. Thank you for your time this Tuesday. Hope the rest of your day's a great one, and hope you're back with us tomorrow. Have an awesome day.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me, as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.